Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. How y'all doing on this lovely Wednesday night, July 16th, 2025? I hope you guys are doing great and that the week is treating you well thus far. Does everything sound okay? Okay, there we go. For some reason, my left headphone wasn't working. Okay, everything's sounding good. I want to make sure because I'm using Brave, and you guys know I've had a tough time with Brave. So I'm like, I need to make sure that my microphone's... Yes, the microphone is working well. Excellent. It's using this mic and not the laptop mic, so that's great. How you guys doing? I don't know if it's... I don't think it's post-con depression. I think just the day when I came back from the con, I was so tired because I only slept like 8 hours that whole weekend. And I was like, oh man, like sometimes you just get that little bit of the, the come down, as it were. But still riding high on that wave from Mad Monster. It was an excellent weekend. Thank you so much to everybody that showed up. I mean, that live on Friday, I hardly went live on Saturday. Saturday was just totally nuts, but I had such a blast with you guys hanging out for about a half hour on Friday night. So thank you to everyone that jumped in. It was a lot of fun. Robert the Wolfman hopped in there. Cecil gave me some fun joking shit on when we were walking around the floor room or the showroom. Guys, if you haven't seen it yet, go and check it out. It's really funny because there were people all around us that they thought that Cecil was being serious. So fun little moment there. And yeah, I kind of wanted to do a roundup with you guys here with Late Night with the Davey. I know 2 weeks in a row without a guest. No worries, guys. Next week we have a guest that I'm really excited about, an artist that I happen to bump into on Instagram. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I guess I can kind of get that out of the way. How about this? I've been really bad about doing this from now on. Guys, thank you so much for joining the stream. Hit that like button if you haven't already. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. We are almost at 1,550 subs. Felt like it took us forever to get from 1,400 to 1,500, and we are sprinting to 1,600. So you guys are awesome. And if you're watching after the fact, thank you so much. It really helps when you guys tune into these live streams after the fact. Make sure you hit that like button. Jump on into the comments. Let me know your thoughts on the Mad Monster coverage. And of course, later on the show, guys, because I haven't been able to cover the news in over a week, we're going to jump into some horror movie news. So a little bit of a different kind of Late Night with the Davey this evening, but I'm really excited to kick it with you guys. I didn't have it in me to do 2 streams today. I figured we could just combine them since I don't have a guest. And the reason why I don't have time is I am currently editing an interview I did with a gentleman by the name of Jacob Hare. He is a supervising director on Rick and Morty. He worked on King of the Hill, Family Guy, American Dad, all sorts of fun stuff. He happened to go to high school with our amazing Death Squad mod, Leanna Bevy Rage, and she put me in touch with him. And he doesn't really do interviews and all that kind of stuff, but he's a big horror fan, and so are we, so am I. So I figured what a cool opportunity to interview somebody that is part of a show that is wildly successful and popular, and kind of like the show, the cartoon of this generation. So that's really exciting. It's just I've been playing around with the edit quite a bit, and the interview's about an hour and 40 minutes or so. I'm looking to drop that either on Friday or sometime this weekend. So I'll let you guys know when that's ready to go. I want to give Jake the chance to check it out so he's happy with it and everything like that. But kind of a big deal, being able to interview somebody that's won an Emmy for their work, especially on such a popular show. It was a really cool opportunity. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on in the background over here on the Davey Deathray channel. I am going to see I Know What You Did Last Summer tomorrow at 2 p.m. and I'll be putting together a review for that movie. It will be a non-spoiler review. I always do non-spoiler reviews, and then maybe later on we do like a spoiler discussion, kind of like what I did with James Gunn's Superman. So you can always rest assured that if you check out my reviews, I'm not going to blow anything or anything like that for you. So yeah, so next week on the show we've got, let me see, I might as well show you guys this really quick. I don't know how, let's see here. I'm going to do this over here. And let me see if this might kind of look awkward, guys. So just bear with me. I just wanted to show you really quick. what we've got here. There we go. Okay, so TV Snack Break is going to be our guest. Let me zoom in on that, or else Brett's going to ask me to zoom in on it. So TV Snack Break is going to be the guest next week. I love this guy's work out of Nashville, Tennessee. And basically what he does is he takes album artwork, mostly like punk rock and pop punk album artwork. So if you're not familiar, you may not recognize these. There's one with Garfield that's based on Lagwagon's Duh. This Goofy movie one is based on Green Day's Kerplunk. Social Misfortune, that's a Steve Urkel that's based on Social Distortion. There's Alf that's based on the Misfits. All sorts of really fun stuff. Costanza, that's Husker Du. Ghostbusters, Ramones. Doug, that's MXPX. Mars Attacks, that's Fugazi. Really, really fun stuff. So I'm very excited to have TV Snack Break on the channel here next Wednesday. That'll be Wednesday the 23rd. So I just wanted to show you guys that really quick there, and then boom, there we are. So if you haven't checked out TV Snack Break, let me share his stuff in his stuff. Let me share his Insta in the chat here for you. And I'm going to jump in and say what's up to you guys. I just wanted to get some of this stuff out of the way. I've noticed a couple times when I've gone live, I'm like, man, I don't say thank you, and I don't ask people to hit the like button and all that stuff until one of the mods or somebody reminds me in the chat. So I'm trying to be better about all that kind of stuff. Here is the link for TV Snack Break there that I'm just going to drop in the chat. If you don't sub to him already, I highly recommend it if you like parody kind of stuff, especially if you're a punk rock fan. I don't know how many of you guys are big punk rock fans, but I am. So there you go. So yeah, that's TV Snack Break, and let's go ahead and jump on over and say what's up to everyone here in the chat. Gosh, the music just seems so quiet. There we go. How's that? There we are. Okay. Everything sound okay? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to say what's up to everybody hanging out here. Holy cow. Love seeing you guys chat. And how cool is it that we've got the XP system now? I don't even know how that kicked off or how that happened, but I'm pumped that's part of what we got going here on the channel. So we got Chester Franklin Jr. in the chat. What's happening, Chester? Great to see you, bud. We've got Antonis Andriotis, one of our great channel members. And there we go, saying what's up, broski. What's up, Antonis? We got Adrian James in the chat. We got Ashton Luck. What's happening, Ashton? Hope you are doing well. Our guy Brett from Good Real Hunting. Love you, Brett. Hope you feel better soon, my friend. Having to miss out on streams because you're sick, or just having to miss out on anything because you're sick, is a big bummer. And it extra sucks being sick in the summer. And that rhymes, so you know it's true. What's happening, Jay Beach? Hope you are doing well. Great to see ya. We've got Gory Tiger. What's happening, Gory? Did anyone watch the Stranger Things trailer from today? Have you guys checked that out? I don't really care about Stranger Things, so I have not kept up on it because I'm not that big of a fan of that show. But if you are, more power to you. You know, it's always good to enjoy things. I have a tough time enjoying things sometimes, much to my detriment. What's happening, Gene? How are you doing? So good to see you. We got Gene Whitacombe in the house. We've also got our guy Dean Renner, one of our great channel members and Patreon members as well. How are you doing, Dean? Always a pleasure. Says my most anticipated. Oh yeah, guys, I've got a little chat that I pinned in there. Just curious to know what your most anticipated film of 2025 for the remainder of the year is. It doesn't have to be horror, just whatever you're looking forward to. And Dean says, my most anticipated was Hell House Lineage, but then the thing happened. Now it's House on Eden and Conjuring Last Rites. Yeah, guys, I heard from a little bird that Dean Renner got to see Hell House Lineage already. He's got exclusive access. How about that? I'm skipping going to see Superman for this stream. Oh, you're too sweet, Dean. Superman is good. Superman is good, though. Yes. Todd Bound in the house. How are you doing, Todd? So great to see ya. Yeah, where are your XP points? I guess you got to keep on just spamming the chat or something to get those. I don't know. 3-Day Awesome in the chat. What's happening? Says, what's up, dude? Ghost Jason from Mad Monster here saying hi before I head back to work. hiding in the bathroom. So great to see you, Sean. The OG Sean Kelly, I believe. If I'm wrong, correct me in the chat. But yeah, Sean hung out quite a bit at the Horror Show channel booth. That's when, if you guys caught the stream on Friday when Vin ran up and he was like, I heard there was a Ghost Jason cosplaying. That's this guy. That's Sean right there. Really great dude. He and his lady hung out with us. We got some good pictures. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know I did a little photo dump, and Sean is in a couple of those pictures. He's actually in one of the pictures that I'm going to show here in just a little bit. So yeah, welcome on in, Sean. Glad you joined us, man. I'm ashamed to admit there was a horror convention in Arizona. You're ashamed to admit it, or you're ashamed to admit that you, that you didn't know? Well, it's whatever. Next time around, usually it's right around that like second week of July out here, usually. We got Paula Fitzhenry in the chat. How are you doing, Paula? One of our great channel members. Oh, yeah. Did I end up meeting Brad Dourif, a.k.a. Chucky, at the convention? I did not. He had a giant line all the friggin' time, and if you're in the line, you're paying. And I wanted to get my Jason mask signed, so I prioritized those signatures as far as finances went. But I would love to meet Brad at some point. Yeah, not only do I love his performance as Chucky, but Exorcist 3 is the Gemini Killer. I mean, friggin' Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2. He's so good in those movies. And many others, of course. Let's see, who else do we got in here? We got Dylan. Says, I'm praying I know what you did last summer is good. A bad slasher is just depressing. Well, thanks for joining us, Dylan. I don't know if this is your first time. Maybe you've been in here before. If this is your first time, welcome on in. You're kicking it with the Death Squad. And same goes for you, Sean. Welcome on in. We've got a great community here. So if you guys are into YouTube live streams, talking about movies, music, horror, all that kind of fun stuff. Sometimes we just talk about whatever. So yeah, I would say from what I've seen, it doesn't look too encouraging, but it doesn't look too discouraging as well. I just hope the movie's like a C+. Like, I just want it to entertain me. I've never thought that the I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise was anything that special, but you know, they've been, you know, fun enough, I suppose. So yeah, hopefully they're not so bad. What's happening? Jamie Hart, our original Death Squad mod and channel member, our mama mod, is in the house. Take care, bud. Thank you so much for dropping on in. It can't be worse than I'll always know what you did last summer. There you go. That's probably true. We got Brooke Scarlett in the house. What's happening, Brooke? So good to see you. One of our great Death Squad mods and channel members, and the most recent winner of members only trivia when we did our Jaws trivia. Brooke kicked butt. There it is. And who else do we got? Blu-ray Addict is in the house. What's happening, Blu-ray? Hope you are doing well. I'm here, but I'm eating dinner, so if I'm quiet, that's why. No worries. No worries, Jamie. I still want to see how your sweatshirts and shirts look. I'm just curious to know what the quality is like on those. So whenever you have a sec, no pressure. But I'm very curious to see. Personally, I don't care for the XP system, and I can't even see it here in StreamYard. I don't know. It is something that I didn't make a decision to make it part of the channel. I think just I don't know what it is. If they just assign it to people randomly, who the heck knows? Antonis says my most anticipated movie now would be The Black Phone 2. Ooh, yeah, that one looks good. I'm torn. It's like weapons, and honestly, like Tron Ares looks like, it just looks like a spectacle. I can't wait to see Tron Ares in 3D IMAX and then check it out in Dolby as well. I love Nine Inch Nails doing the soundtrack. The little bit that we've heard, nothing against Daft Punk. I just think that Nine Inch Nails is probably more fitting for like the kind of mood that it looks like they're trying to capture here with this new Tron movie. Looking forward to the new Coen Brothers film, Don't Honey. All right. And I've heard good things about Oh Hi. I think that's coming out here this week or something like that. Most anticipated from Blu-ray is Weapons. There you go. I'm waiting for Horror in the High Desert 4. Supposed to be sometime this year. There you go. Let's see here. As a board game designer, I do a lot of game conventions, but I had no idea there was a horror convention in our state. I'd be there, or if I had known. Yeah. Well, next time, Todd. Let's meet up and grab a bite or something. Hey, be nice to the first. I know what you did. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. What's happening, Michelle? How are you doing? So great to see you coming back in to hang out with us. That's right, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button. What's happening, Brett? So good to see you. Ashton's most anticipated are Weapons or Black Phone 2. There we go. We got MAGA Cat in the chat. How you doing, MAGA? Says Davey fucking Death Ray. Hope you're doing well, brother. MAGA is one of our great channel members there. And Brett is a channel member as well. There we go. Who else? We got Dynamite Tiger is in the chat. How you doing, Dynamite? Great to see you. Let's see here. I can assure you that the tees and sweatshirt is very high quality. I've just been too hot to wear the hoodie. Yeah. It's been relatively chill today, only 97, but cloudy all day. So super humid. Everyone says, oh, it's a dry heat. It's a dry heat. Yeah, but 46% humidity in the desert is brutal, y'all. It is brutal. There we go. Just finished a 90-minute run. Holy cow, Blu-ray. You must be in shape. I could not run for 90 minutes. One thing before I jump into like the Mad Monster coverage and all that talk, guys, is I'm kind of excited. I got the very first time I've ever gotten an email, excuse me, with somebody reaching out saying, hey, we want you to be an affiliate for a project we're working on. So I believe it's Creator VC. They've been doing the In Search of Darkness. They've been behind those documentaries, and they're doing a brand new documentary about like kind of trashy, low budget slashers from the 70s and 80s. And they asked me to take part in that. So super flattering. I guess the person that's behind it all, she just happened to find the channel and my socials while she was poking around looking for people to be a part of it. So within the next few days, I should have some more materials to kind of look at. And yeah, it'll be the kind of thing where I'll have like a special link and a discount code. So if you guys are interested in grabbing a copy of the new documentary that they're working on about those kinds of slasher films, I'll have that ready for you. So I'll let you know. Yes, I will be shilling for their stuff because they were so sweet and kind enough to reach out and ask. But I ain't going to try to hide it or anything like that. I'm sure you guys know I would love to be able to do this kind of thing full time. And part of that is growing the channel, of course, and having the community get bigger and bigger, views, clicks, whatever, more engagement, all that kind of stuff. And then another part is being able to work with, production companies and be able to do this kind of affiliate stuff. So really excited about that. It's very flattering and super humbling and a nice little boost, especially because yesterday I had my very first therapy session just with everything that's been going on in my life. It went really well. But, when you get out of that, you're like, oh, that was so nice to get that started. But then there is like reflection, and not to say that I was like down or anything like that after the session or anything like that. But it just, you can sort of, you may spend some time kind of meditating on some of those things that you went over in that meeting. So, and again, I don't know if you guys saw my post or anything like that, but, thank you guys so much for being there for me. I've got a lot of external love in my life, and I'm going to be working on trying to, love myself a little bit more. So that's the goal from therapy, and to be able to grieve everything that's been going on, start a new chapter, have this be the best chapter moving forward, and to be able to find some positivity and some hope and some love from within, because I've got plenty from you guys and family and friends and all that kind of stuff. So all of that's good. Just want to work on the other stuff. So let me see here. What else do we got going? As I just was blah, blah, blahing. Only 97. I know, but for here, when it was 118 this weekend, and last week it got to 125. So 97 is like cool, We currently have a pretty good monsoon here in Tucson. I'll send it your way. Yeah, we're supposed to get rain tomorrow, apparently. So maybe we're getting a little bit of that monsoon coming up here. Let's see here. 97, we got that, and all this humidity in the south. Yuck. Yep. Yeah, very humid all day today. Oh, you guys talking about Brooks' grandbaby? How's that baby? Brooks says, oh, he's doing good, MAGA. Too sweet. I got the early email about that Trasher Slashers 2. Heck yeah. Just be an early backer, but I voted on making it happen. That's awesome. They reached out to you to participate. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I told them, hey, if you guys want any voiceover work or somebody to take part in the documentary or any future documentaries, so they've got me on their list. And now I need to do, kind of what you did, Dean, and, look at some production companies and some people that I can reach out to just to try to, build a little bit more of a network. If I really want this thing to kind of take off, I need to be a little more proactive on that for sure. Let me just make sure I'm not everybody love everybody. There we go. Good on you, Davey. You guys are too sweet. Thank you so much. Pouring big time at my house right now, and boy, do we need it. I would love some of that right now. I'll take all the rain you got. What's happening, Melissa? I feel like it's been a little bit a long time no see. Welcome on back in. So great to see you, as always. And yeah, guys, do you want to get into a little? I think I've sort of covered all the kind of housekeeping stuff. I think, yeah, coming up this week, I'm looking to drop that interview with Jacob Hare. Again, he's the supervising director over at Rick and Morty. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And coming up next week, I believe on Sunday at 9 p.m., we're actually going to do Hit the Bricks live on Sunday at 9 p.m. So keep an eye out for that. It'll be simulcast on Drum Dums over here on the Davey Death Ray channel and also on the Lost River Drive-In. I think we're going to do that from now on just because we got our widest audience last time when we did that. So Hit the Bricks on Sunday. I'll be doing, Late Night with the Davey on Wednesday as well with our guy TV Snack Break. And then on Thursday, I believe, I haven't seen it pop up yet, but I'm going to be on Flet's Movies and Pop Culture 13, and we're going to do a watch party of Jaws, my favorite film of all time. So if you want to hear me blah, blah, blah even more, that'll be next Thursday. And then on Friday, I haven't seen it get built yet either, but I will be doing my top 10 horror films of the 2020s over on Dark Room Reviews with Joel. So I'll share that stuff as it, gets built and I'm able to share those links. So keep an eye out for that. And thank you so much to everybody that kicked it with Pat, Brett, Patrick, and myself last night over on Pat That Halloween Movie Collector. We celebrated 20 years of Land of the Dead and watched that film. That was a heck of a lot of fun. Yeah. Shutter Island. Are you talking about the movie Shutter Island by Martin Scorsese? My brother worked on that movie. He did a whole bunch of the 3D matte paintings and everything for that flick. Yeah, it was over on Pat That Halloween Movie Collector's channel. So it wasn't on our channel. Or it wasn't on, our channel. It wasn't on this channel. It wasn't on Davey Death Ray, but you can still check it out. I did drop a link. I shared it on the posts section. So Todd, if you have, I don't know. I don't know. If you have notifications set, do you actually get the notifications of just the standard posts I do? I don't know. Just watch Jaws in the backyard and it was amazing. Oh, it never gets old, right? Yes, Jaws watch party, but it's going to be over on Flet's Movies and Pop Culture 13. So there you go. Heck yeah. Yeah, Shutter Island is pretty damn awesome. Yeah, it was one of the first really big movies that my brother got to be one of the lead matte painters on. He worked on that movie for months and got to have virtual meetings with Scorsese and all that kind of stuff. So pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I mean, worked on, he wasn't there on set and everything, but worked on building the cliffs and all that kind of stuff. A lot of that stuff was just green screen when they shot it, and then they built the cliffs and the lighthouse and everything like that. Okay, guys, so do you want to get into a little Mad Monster coverage? First off, let me know in the chat. Wait, real quick. The notifications seem to pick and choose when they pop up. Okay. Yeah, if you set them to all, there we go. And you've got XP points now. Heck yeah, Dean. So yeah, let me know in the chat if you guys have ever been to a Mad Monster party. I know that it's like a touring convention that they do in multiple cities, but I know there's a whole bunch of these kind of touring conventions. But guys, if you've never been to a horror convention, I highly recommend you do it. They can get kind of addicting, I would say. It's a heck of a lot of fun. And, most of these pictures here, I think I've shared all of them on my socials. So, if you don't follow me on Instagram, this will be a first time you've seen them. And if you have Instagram and you want to follow me, the link is in the description below. So don't hesitate and hop on over. But yeah, let me see about switching screens here. Bear with me because this will be, I'm I'm sure there will be a little bit of a shift here on everything. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? That's really odd. So even if I do, so that totally cuts me out. Can you guys hear me now? Did that, okay. But now that I have it full screen again, is there any sound? Test, test, test. Okay, excellent. Perfect. Okay, so I thought it went smooth and it didn't go smooth. Whoops. But yeah, here is a picture with myself and the lovely Danielle Harris. She was super sweet and awesome. She's got a kick-ass Guns N' Roses shirt on there. And it was really cool to meet Danielle. I've seen her at a whole bunch of conventions. At age 45, she looked so badass. I think she was like wearing this like leather jacket, and I was just like, oh my gosh, the big old line and everything. I just wasn't able to, whatever. I was too chicken shit to say hi to her, basically. So this time around, I went up. I was like, I'm gonna get a signature from Danielle. I'm gonna do all that kind of fun stuff. When I go back to the main screen, I'll show you guys the photo that I got signed. She had some really sexy pics for people to sign and everything, but I was like, oh, I kind of want something that's got like Jamie on it. So I went with the Halloween 5 picture. If you guys saw my Instagram post, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But she was so sweet and gracious. I try not to take too much time when I get to chat with these celebrities and everything like that. And even though it probably seems like I never get nervous, I do get nervous out there in the world. So yeah, that was great. Super fun meeting Danielle and getting to hang out with her a little bit. I was just getting over my hangover from Friday when I started getting signatures. So there you go. Jamie says she went with the H5 picture too. Yeah, I told her, I was like, oh, I'm too Catholic to get one of these other pictures. I just think, I don't know. She didn't have the bangs hanging down. What can you do? No big deal. My forehead would probably, well, I guess I do kind of have the little poof sort of thing going anyways. And then, so moving on from Danielle, I'll just go ahead and show off. There we go. We got Adrian King from Friday the 13th, and of course the very beginning of Friday the 13th part 2. She was also in the fan film Jason Rising with our guy Vincent DeSanti. So how cool is that? Really awesome to get her to sign the Jason mask as well. She was very nice also. I'll just kind of cruise through these a little bit. We got Amy Steele from Friday the 13th part 2, our gal Ginny. Gosh, they look really, really good. Adrian and Amy look like they've hardly aged since the early 80s. Pretty awesome. And I love Amy's outfit there. And we sort of, even though I don't have like the reddest of hair or anything, I'm definitely like a freckly ginger. So we sort of commiserated over, how when you're in the desert, you really have to look out for yourself. Oh, Davey, I got to send you something for that Jason mask now. All right. Let's see here. There's our guys. Ron Sloan is on my right, your left. He was Junior in Friday the 13th, part 5. He signed the mask as well. Then, of course, we've got Vincent DeSanti on my left. This is the second time I've worked with Ron at a convention. He was at our table all day on Saturday. And of course, I've been fortunate enough to, hang out with Vin a handful of times now. Starting to feel like a really good bud for sure. So Really cool to get him to sign the mask as well. And there we got, coming up next, we've got Ken Kersinger from Friday the 13th. Not only from Freddy vs. Jason, he was also in Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Not only is he the cook that gets thrown around by Kane, but he was also the stunt coordinator on the film as well. And of course, he's been in a whole bunch of other stuff. Ken was really sweet and very tall, as you can tell, a very, very tall guy. Yeah, such a sweet dude. And then there's the shot of the mask there with all the signatures, so just so you guys can take a little bit of a better look. I do have Kane Hodder's signature on there, but it was like another $20 to get a signature, or to get a picture with him. Everyone else, it was like you could get a picture and a signature as a combo. And so I was like, well, I'll just get Kane's signature. He was sipping whiskey and had a little bit of an odd interaction with him at the end, but he was nice enough for sure. And then just a couple other pictures to show you guys. There's our guy. He was popped in the chat earlier. I think it was 3 days awesome. Our guy Sean Kelly, dressed up as Ghost Jason, and of course Vincent DeSanti there, both choking me. It's always a pleasure to get a picture, where you're being killed by, a good friend and somebody that's dressed up as his version of Jason Voorhees. And then how adorable is this picture right here? We got a little Leatherface. What an awesome cosplay that is right there. And you can't tell from here, guys, the chainsaw actually made sound. So the chainsaw was pretty cool here. Love seeing little horror fans take part in the cosplay antics and look so dang cool. Yeah, pretty awesome stuff there. And then we got 8-bit Jason. I wish I didn't look so awkward here. Speaking of awkward, though, if you zoom in on the middle of the frame, this person got right. I know that she did this on purpose, because she was dressed up as Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. So she's got like a faux, like naked suit on, kind of. And this was the line for the costume party on Saturday night. So I believe it looks like he's got that 8-bit Jason enamel pen on his breast pocket there. But super cool to get killed by 8-bit Jason. Now me and all my friends are dead. That's how that goes in the video game. And then just a little cutesy picture to show off to you guys here. This young lady had this really cool The Fog outfit. If I could have added one more picture to the slideshow, StreamYard just limits how many I can share, guys. I would show you the back of it. Now, if you follow me on Insta, you can see the back as well. It's got the lighthouse and everything. But yeah, there's like fairy lights underneath the skirt here. So really, really cool, The Fog outfit here. And they were cosplaying, I think, a little bit different outfits every day. So I believe these folks are local. Hopefully I'll bump into them next time around when we do a convention. And, I think what's really cool is, let me see if I can do, let me see. I'm going to go back to, does this work? There we go. How about I do this instead? Okay, cool. And I'm going to get that going. All right. So a little bit of a different setup here, guys, but yeah, Cecil had talked to, on Saturday night, Cecil, spoke with the main guy from Mad Monster. And it sounds like some of the gears are turning on getting us folks from the Horror Show channel to once again be like the official media coverage. There was a time when the Horror Show channel did media coverage for Mad Monster Party and traveled the country with the con. So we're trying to get those things in motion so we can tour with the convention and be, when you're the official media, you get to meet up with the big celebrities and do official interviews with them. Like that would be, I'd imagine they'd be like in a private room and everything like that. So, that's just stuff that's kind of, in the beginning stages of getting that up and running. But that would be really cool. I'd love to take part in something like that. And usually I think back when they were doing it in like 2015, 2016, or whenever that was, it would be kind of a round robin. So, each one of us would kind of take a turn interviewing celebrities. So that could be really, really awesome. And something I would love to, obviously something I would love to take part in. So keep an eye out for that as Mad Monster moves on. I don't think that would come to fruition until next year, until next summer. But really quick, let me show you guys. Here, I'll put it over here or right there, right in front of my face. I'm just going to talk and then I'll show you the image. But yeah, this is the, you know, the signed photograph that Danielle put together for me. So there you go. There we are. Fun stuff, even though there's glare all over the place. There we go. So yeah, she said happy Halloween, all that kind of fun stuff. She really did it up there. And love the ink, the bloody kind of looking ink. Super big fan of Danielle Harris, obviously. And then we got our Jason mask here. So yeah, you can see Vin's signature there, Adrian King, Amy Steele. Then we got Kane Hodder up top, Ken Kersinger right over here, and then Ron Sloan right there. So I've got 6 signatures on my Jason mask. And as these, you know, conventions keep on rolling through, if there are any other Friday the 13th alum, then I look forward to getting their signatures on there as well. And I'm not the kind of guy that would ever sell something like this. I just, you know, want it for my own collection. I just think it would be really cool. So so there you go, guys. Trying to think of any other stories to tell from Mad Monster Party, Arizona. Yeah, just a lot of fun hanging out, rubbing shoulders with or rubbing elbows with all sorts of people. Yeah, I was rubbing everyone's shoulders. It was great. Got to meet other really cool people from the community and all that. So very, very fun weekend, and I can't wait for the next one. I really can't. Buffalo Bill chick rules. Yeah, she was really funny when she came up for the costume party. It was pretty awesome. Let's see what else we got. Wonder how long she's in the makeup chair trying to get rid of the glare with the lights, the budget on baby powder. Oh my gosh, you guys. Be nice to Danielle. Come on, be nice. Killer poster, rough movie. Yes. Yeah, it's a pretty good mask, guys. This is a NECA mask. So yeah, it's I don't know when I got this a few years ago, but yeah, it's nice and sturdy, you know, none of that flimsy crap. Did anyone walk up to say hi and recognize you from the tubes? I don't think so. No, I don't remember, you know, other than people that I've already like maybe met once or twice just at a press screening that just wanted to hang out a little bit more. So yeah, nobody like bumped into me and were like, oh my God, are you Davey Deathray? No, nothing like that. I'm small potatoes, guys. Small potatoes over here. I'm going to keep that between myself and my bank there. Blu-ray asks, at all the different conventions you went to, who's the nicest and rudest celebrity you've met? Sorry, guys, I got an itchy nose. Nicest celebrity I ever met. Anthony Michael Hall was very, very nice at age 45. Let's see here. Rowan Campbell from Halloween Ends was super awesome at age 45 as well. He was very nice and, you know, kind of joking right away and everything. Rian Reese, who is one of the podcasters, Dana, I believe is her name, from H18. She was very, very sweet as well. I've never really had anyone be rude to me, you know. Stuff got a little weird with Kane at the end, but I don't know. He wasn't rude or anything like that. No, not being modest. Nobody recognized me. It's true. It's true. Fiona was there as well, Antonis. So she was right next to Brad. Yeah. Dynamite Tiger says, Davey, what's your go-to rainy day movie? Usually, so if it rains, I like to put on like one of the early Friday the 13th with rain. So like part 2, final chapter, you know, those are two that like stick out to me as good, like rainy day kind of slashers. As far as just like a rainy day, I don't know, like a rainy day movie that's not a horror. I'm not sure. I think H4 is another good horror rainy day kind of movie. Yeah. Yeah. I always have an itchy nose on stream. Itch away, mon ami. Yeah, maybe it was a little bit. Maybe it was. Yeah, I mean, with Kane, basically, it was like, you know, I thanked him for all the entertainment and, you know, and just I think he's just the best looking Jason, especially in the New Blood. I love the way he looks. So you know, he was talking about how he's fortunate to, you know, have this as part of his life. And I was like, yeah, it's just, you know, something you got to be really thankful for. And he was like, thankful to who? And I was like, oh, just like thankful for the experience. And he goes, thankful to God. And I go, if you believe in that. And he's like, I don't do that religious stuff. I'm spiritual, but I don't do that religion. And I'm like, yeah, you know, just thankful for the experience that you have. That's all. I was like, I didn't say God. I was like, you know, it's not my business to tell you what to believe in or what not to believe in. So, but yeah, maybe it was a little bit of the whiskey there, Dean, for sure. Dawn of the Dead, that's a good rainy day. Day of the Dead's another good rainy day one as well. Yeah, maybe Halloween 78, although there's not much rain in there, you know. That's all. There's just not much rain there. But H4, tons of rain right from the beginning, you know. Yeah. So yeah, guys, Mad Monster was an absolute blast. I can't wait. Can't wait for the next one. I stayed at the hotel the whole weekend. I'm thankful that I brought enough change of clothes and all that kind of stuff. And Cecil was gracious enough to let me stay in the room with him. There were 2 beds, so we didn't have to have a cuddle puddle or anything like that, although I suppose we could have anyways. But yeah, it was a great opportunity to hang out with, you know, Robert the Wolfman. Love hanging out with Robert the Wolfman. Jaime and Fuego, another one of our great team members over there at the Horror Show channel. Mahalo, who does a lot of the music and plays in a band with Jaime. You know, Fuego and Mahalo were in the band that I believe they, you know, recorded 2 songs, I believe it was, for Dylan's new Nightmare. So Mahalo's super fun. We got to talk about music a whole bunch, and maybe we'll jam in the future. It sounds like they might need a bassist for their band, so I can certainly do that kind of thing. And oh my gosh, Susie, hanging out with Susie more. Super, super fun. Love hanging out with Susie. We really got to, like, we've hung out a few times, but I think at this Mad Monster, we really got to connect and share some stories about some of the wild personal relationship stuff we've been going through. Oh my goodness. Jamie, you gave me this itchy nose. I'm blaming you. So there you go. Let's see here. I mean, I could blah, blah, blah about this for a while. I'll probably just be saying the same thing over and over, guys. Do you want to get into some horror movie news? I know usually I do this stuff during the day, and maybe a couple of these things we'll cover here on Sunday with Hit the Bricks, but I wanted to have a little horror movie news session with you guys. I have the world's itchiest nose, and I won't stop talking about it. Todd says you'll have to come to Tucson for our board game convention next month. I'll run Dead of Winter, the best zombie board game for you. Hell yeah. Reach out to me, Todd, if you're able to reach out to me like through DM or something so we can coordinate that. And I just need to know, you know, what the dates are and all that kind of stuff. Oh my gosh, once I started talking about it and scratching, it won't go away now. But yeah, let's get into some horror movie news. Ooh, ready for Toxie. I'm looking forward to checking that one out as well. Yeah, kind of a stacked cast for the Toxic Avenger remake that's coming out here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me do... Gosh dang it, you guys. I just can't stop scratching. So guys, you know what we do here. Whenever there's new... come on. Oh, come on. There we go. Guys, whenever there's new Jason Universe news, you know we got to cover it here. Can't escape it. It's just one of those things, and I know that other folks have covered this story, but you're hanging out with me now, so let's get into this one. So from Bloody Disgusting, we got John Squires, who has updated his little icon there. What's happening, John? I had no idea what you really looked like, and now I do. So how cool is that? So yeah, comes to us by way of Bloody Disgusting, published 3 days ago. Jason Universe slashes into SDCC, the San Diego Comic-Con, with exclusive first looks, Savini Jason toy, and more. And this one goes on to say, the Jason Universe, a relaunch of the Jason Voorhees character from the rights holders, has gotten off to a bit of a rocky start so far this year, with a host of weird announcements making most horror fans wonder what the hell is even going on here. It's been called a, quote, multi-platform expansion, unquote, with everything from NECA toys to an Angry Orchard commercial being promised thus far, and a brand new Jason design headed to Halloween Horror Nights this year. Where else is this weird new Jason headed? To San Diego Comic-Con this month. IGN has exclusively announced this afternoon that the Jason Universe Initiative will host its own San Diego Comic-Con panel on Friday, July 25th, and it's being presented as a, quote, celebration of Friday the 13th's 45th anniversary that's filled with exclusive first looks, multiple standout giveaways, and a deep dive into Jason's blood-soaked history and what's lurking ahead. In other words, if you're wondering what else this new Jason universe is planning in the coming months, you'll probably want to pay attention to this particular SDCC panel. Among other things, it'll feature a first look at Sweet Revenge, the aforementioned Angry Orchard commercial that's being directed by Mike P. Nelson of the Wrong Turn remake and the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake as well. A message from the set of Peacock and A24's Crystal Lake is also being promised, with the panelists including Mike P. Nelson, Horror Inc. president Robert Barsamian, VP Robbie Barsamian, and CMO Sherry Khan, as well as Atomic Monster EVP of film Judson Scott. The Jason Universe panel, taking place in room 5AB from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m., will also include a number of giveaways exclusively available for all fans who attend the panel, including a first look and fan giveaway of Spirit Halloween's newest Jason mask, crafted in celebration of a first look and fan giveaway of Spirit Halloween's newest Jason mask, crafted in celebration of his 45th anniversary and his frightening new design. Exclusive 45th anniversary hats only available by attending the panel. Also crafted exclusively for those attending the panel, a limited edition 18 by 12 Mondo lithograph inspired by the upcoming Sweet Revenge vignette will be distributed. Designed by panel moderator and Mondo senior creative director Peter Santamaria, aka Attack Peter. And Jason fans can also visit NECA's SDCC booth to view the unveiling of their new 7-inch scale Ultimate Savini Jason action figure, which will be the first collectible based on the fan favorite 2017 video game Friday the 13th, The Game. And let's see here. This panel can't be I'm going to go back on that one. This can't miss panel, moderated by Mondo senior creative director Peter Santamaria, will dive deep into Jason's blood-soaked history and what's lurking ahead. And let's take a look at this lithograph. I'm going to open it up in another window, and let's take a look at it there. Boom, there we go, guys. So we get a little look at that. You'll have to zoom in if you want to get a closer look at that. It looks pretty good. You know, I'm still not super pumped on the whole Angry Orchard commercial kind of thing, but I mean, whatever. I don't even know what to say at this point about Jason Universe. I guess like I could keep on ripping on it and all that stuff, but really I guess we just got to see what it's going to be like. Maybe this commercial will be a pleasant surprise for all of us doubters, and then we can eat crow after it comes out. But I'm going to jump into the chat here and see what you guys think in a sec. But if you're watching this after the fact, let me know down in the comments what you think, and make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already, because we will be covering all of the Friday the 13th news moving forward, whether that's Jason Universe news or A24's Peacock TV show or anything else that pops up. So let me know in the comments what you think, and come back for more, guys. Okay, I'm going to jump into the chat and see what you guys are saying here. The new look was meh. I agree. I don't care about a Jason toy. I want a movie. I think we all do. Yeah, and I'm hoping that the TV show is... Guys, I heard some things about the TV show, and gosh, I don't know how much I want to go into it, because I don't want to... I don't know. I don't want to speak out of turn or anything, but I did speak with a couple people about, you know, the Jason or the Crystal Lake TV show. I did get to have a little chat about that with a couple people at Mad Monster. Sounds like Adrian King, you know, was going to take part and is not anymore. And then I've heard some stuff about the way they're going to handle Jason. that sounds a little spotty. So I'm excited with the way everything's looking, all the production photos we've seen and everything like that. I'm not too jazzed about what I'm hearing as far as, what the show's going to be like. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we should proceed with cautious optimism on this one. Yeah. How does apple beer have anything to do with Jason? I'm confused. Well, Angry Orchard is helping. I would imagine they're, putting some money up to take part in this, and they want to be a partner moving forward with the Jason universe. So, yeah, get scared or get excited, depending on how you feel about that. Aren't there rumors going around that Blumhouse might get the rights to make a Friday the 13th movie? I don't know about that. I think we're kind of a ways away from a movie. So maybe those talks are going on in the background. I haven't heard anything about those, anything going on with that. I haven't heard any rumors. So I don't know. J Beach says, I'm actually looking forward to I Know What You Did Last Summer tomorrow. Still got to see Superman and Jurassic Park first. Yeah. Yeah, Superman was fun. I'm excited to see I Know What You Did Last Summer, just so I can say I've said it and talk about it, and know how it all shakes out. Blu-ray stopped playing. Anyone but Blumhouse, please. Well, I think the production companies all have their good movies and bad movies, so I try not to get too hot or cold with them either way. So moving on over from, Jason to our main guy here. Our guy, Mr. Michael Myers, has a brand new NECA figurine, and this is an interesting one, guys. Alex DiVincenzo put this one out. Looks like this was on July 14th. This came out, so a couple days ago. Halloween H2O Michael Myers gets his NECA's Ultimate Action Figure treatment, and look at that picture there of Michael. Here's what I'll say about this toy. If Michael looked this cool in H2O, we'd all like H2O a hell of a lot more. I think NECA was very, very friendly to the way that Michael looks in this movie. Because right there, we've got the Stan Winston mask. For some reason, we have like two different versions of the Stan Winston mask. I don't know if one of them is supposed to be the CGI mask. But the thing that's weird to me is we don't get a Curse of Michael Myers mask included in this toy, because I don't know if you guys know this, but the Curse of Michael Myers mask was used in the opening scene of H2O. And that's when I think Michael looks his best in the film. So let's go ahead and check this article out. Michael Myers' appearance in Halloween H2O is joining NECA's Ultimate Action Figure line. The fully articulated 7-inch scale figure includes interchangeable heads with different masks and 7 interchangeable hands. Accessories include 2 kitchen knives, clean and bloody, fire axe, ice skate, and pumpkin. It's packaged in a window box with opening front flap. Priced at $34.99, it's due out in the third quarter of 2025. In Steve Miner's 1998 7th installment of the Halloween franchise, Laurie Strode, now the dean of a Northern California private school under an assumed name, must battle the shape one last time as the life of her own son hangs in the balance. Well, it wasn't the last time, now was it? So here we go. We got, of course, right there, Michael's wearing that K&B mask. And yeah, the K&B, doesn't that look a lot better than how the alien K&B mask looks in the actual movie? Because I think it looks so bad in the movie. And here, they've sort of cleaned it up. They've made it look a lot better. And I guess maybe that mask that's in the middle of these 3 masks there, maybe that is supposed to be the CG mask, because I remember the CG mask has a little more shading on it than the standard Stan Winston mask, although you can tell it's basically a recreation. It's the same kind of thing, which I think we've got the standard, Stan Winston mask right next to it on the right there. So, I mean, I think these, articulate, action figure kind of, dolls or whatever you want to call them are pretty cool. It's interesting. It's like, good job, NECA, because you make these look better than the movie, but then also at the same time, I don't think it's very screen accurate. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing with how Michael looks in this movie. But there's a couple more shots of Michael hanging out there. I believe that's the CG mask, if I'm correct about that. And then there's that K&B mask, which is one of the reasons why I wasn't so pumped that Greg Nicotero was working on the Jason Universe Jason design. because I don't think he does masks very well, but he does, everything else very, very well. There we go. I believe that's the standard Stan Winston there with the bloody ice skate. Pretty cool stuff. And another K&B alien mask with the clean knife. So yeah, I don't know if I'll be grabbing this one. I used to collect these. I've got a handful of them, but I kind of stopped grabbing all the NECA stuff that was under the sun. But yeah, let me know in the chat if you guys are going to pick one of these up. And if you're watching after the fact, let me know. I'm curious to see what you guys think about this newest Michael Myers of H2O NECA Ultimate figure that's dropping here in the third quarter of 2025. I'd imagine it'll be dropping either in, late September or sometime in October, right around the Halloween season. So yeah, let me know in the chat what you guys think. And if you're watching after the fact, let me know in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We cover a bunch of horror movie news here and all sorts of fun stuff. So come on back for more, guys. Okay, I'm going to jump on into the chat and see what you guys are saying here. Blumhouse just laid people off. Who knows what they're doing now? All this making Jason elevated horror is tripping. It's kind of cool that the H2O NECA mask includes the CGI mask. I know, but it doesn't really look... to me, it just looks like just a slightly different version of that Stan Winston mask. Dylan says, I still think Crystal Lake will be a one and done season. You may be right. Let's see here. We got Raj Ram in the house. How are you doing, Raj? One of our great channel members says, good evening, Davey. How are you, my brother? I'm doing very well. How about yourself? Hope you're having a great week. I want a NECA Myers from H4 with the pinkish face blonde mask from the school. Have they done something like that yet? Has anyone done that? I don't know. I don't know. Wouldn't be surprised if we got more Myers announcements or reveals from NECA during San Diego Comic-Con. That's true. We could get some more stuff. I want to like H2O, says Dylan, but every time Myers is on screen, it reminds me why I dislike it so much. Yeah. Oh, they've got to be doing that, Antonis. I don't think they ever really like tip their cap on everything or tip their hand on everything, rather. But yeah, there's going to be all sorts of trailers that'll drop from San Diego Comic-Con. They do that all the time. Yeah. What's happening? We got our guy Matt Bocci in the house, one of our great channel members. Well, I don't know. Matt, are you? I don't know. You know what? Matt doesn't even have to be a channel member because look at that. Matt is a mod. Matt is also the birthday boy of the week. Hope you had an awesome birthday. 37. How about it, Matt? Hope you are having a great week so far, brother. Let's see what else we got. Davey, you're right. Nicotero's masks do suck. There you go. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. Let's see what else we got. We might as well move into our next story. This one might be a quick one. So yeah, guys, Robert Englund is finally getting his own Hollywood Walk of Fame star, and it's happening on Halloween Day. How about that? How many Robert Englund fans do we have in the house? This one comes to us by way of John Squires, of course, Bloody Disgusting. We got a picture of Robert talking about some very important stuff there. This one will be a pretty quick one. It was back in April that John Carpenter finally received his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and he's not the only horror legend who's part of the 2025 class of honorees. As we learned last June, Robert Englund is also getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, joining fellow horror acting legends, including Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney, and Bela Lugosi. We knew it was coming, but we didn't know when it was happening, but a story posted by Englund himself today, this was a few days ago, indicates that he's getting his Walk of Fame star on Halloween Day. The celebration of Englund's career looks to be taking place on Halloween 2025 at 11 a.m. So yeah, he tweeted when the news was first announced last year, quote, woke up this morning to discover I'm in great company in the Hollywood Walk of Fame class of 2025. Just to hear my name mentioned alongside Jane Fonda and Prince makes my old heart go pit-a-pat. So yeah, we got the, here's just a look of his tweet that he put together there. Really cool little picture there. Yeah, this is really exciting stuff, guys. I mean, not only did Robert play, Freddy Krueger in so many damn movies, but he's been involved as a director of horror films and a performer in other horror flicks, you know, a Phantom of the Opera, and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, what do you guys think about this? Is it high time? I know it's kind of weird with the Hollywood Walk of Fame because I think you do have to essentially like pay to keep it maintained and all that stuff, but it is really cool to see these icons that we grew up with and that we love so much, you know, joining the likes of folks like Boris Karloff and Lon Chaney and all that. So yeah, let me know in the chat what you guys think of this one, and if you're watching after the fact, let me know what your favorite Robert Englund performance is. Give me your favorite. I'm interested to know, what is your guys' favorite Nightmare on Elm Street performance by Robert? And what's your favorite performance of his outside of that franchise? I'm curious to know. So let me know in the comments or the chat if you're hanging out here. And of course, do all that fun stuff. Like, subscribe, all of that, and you'll continue to get more horror movie news right here on the Davey Death Ray channel. All right, how many Fred heads do we have here in the chat, huh? Let me know. Let's see here. What else you guys are saying? Nicotero's zombies are top notch. Absolutely. Zombies and Deadites, because he worked on, you know, Evil Dead 2 and all that as well. Really good work over there. Nice to see horror icons recognized on the Walk of Fame. John Carpenter got his a few months ago. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then I don't know. Let's see what else we've got here for horror movie news. I've got to share this one, guys. Day of the Dead print by Uta Maru, on sale tomorrow at Mutant. So this is from today, just a few hours ago, posted by Alex DiVincenzo. And yeah, let's take a look really quick at the actual print right there. Beautiful stuff. I kind of want to expand it, but I also want you guys just to be able to look at the whole thing there. And of course, you can hop on over to Bloody Disgusting if you want to take a closer, more detailed look. But I mean, you guys know how I feel about this film. Last week on Late Night with the Davey, we celebrated its 40th anniversary and had a watch party. This is my favorite zombie film of all time. I absolutely adore this movie. I don't know how much I need to get into the article here, but I guess I will, just to let you guys know if you want to pick one of these up tomorrow, July 17th, you know, where you can find it. So Mutant will release a Day of the Dead poster by Utamaru tomorrow, July 17th at 12 p.m. Eastern. The 18 by 24 7-color print is limited to 110 copies for $50 each. Who's going to buy one for Davey Death Ray? The article goes on to say, quote, 40 years ago, George Romero redefined the undead again, writes Mutant. We're thrilled to celebrate the 40th anniversary of this vicious masterwork with a new Technicolor hellscape of a print from brilliant Tokyo-based illustrator Uto Maru. Romero's 1985 zombie classic is returning to select theaters and drive-ins now through Halloween to commemorate its 40th anniversary. I would love to check this one out in the theater. I saw it in the theater back in Portland, but that was probably about 15 years ago. So I think I'm due for another theatrical experience with Day of the Dead. And of course, you guys know in the film, the undead have wiped out every last vestige of the civilized world and now outnumbering the living 40,000 to 1. I think don't they say 400,000 to 1? Or is it 40,000 to 1? Hidden deep underground in an unstable group of scientists, or hidden deep underground is an unstable group of scientists and soldiers continuing to work to find a cure for this unstoppable plague. So, oh, and I realized that I didn't even share the screen. I just have the image up there. But if you're watching this after the fact, you can read along with me. But yeah, guys, let me know in the chat what y'all think of this. I love this artwork. I love this movie. And if you're going to pick up one of these, I really would love to see how beautiful it actually looks in person. So if you're picking one up, let me know and shoot me a picture somewhere on social media. And if you're watching along right now, let me know in the chat your thoughts on Day of the Dead and this print by Uto Maru. And if you're watching after the fact, let me know in the comments. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. You are not going to want to miss all the horror movie news we cover here on the Davey Death Ray channel. Let's see what else we got. We got the Oct jumping in. 107 days until Halloween. Guys, we're just barely over 3 months away. How about that? That is incredible. Here, what, in a week or 2 weeks, we'll be about 3 months away. It's very, very exciting. Jamie Hart is pumped on the poster. Oh, yeah. And let's see here. I know this is news that Ashton Luck and myself will be pumped about. Werewolf, the new Robert Eggers film, is adding Aaron Taylor Johnson, who has joined the movie, and Lily Rose Depp is in talks. Interesting. You guys know how I feel about Aaron Taylor Johnson. I wasn't too pumped about a lot of his acting performances other than Kick-Ass, early on in his career, but I really liked his performance in Nosferatu, and I really dug him in 28 Years Later, even though I don't really like that movie very much. I really liked his performance. So I am curious to know, what role he's going to play here. Maybe we'll find out in the article, but I would love to see him as the main. Honestly, I'd like to see him as the lead guy in this next Robert Eggers film. So let's check out this article from John Squires that was posted yesterday on July 15th. There we go. We got our guy Aaron Taylor Johnson in Nosferatu. And the article says Robert Eggers will be following up Nosferatu with a werewolf for Focus Features, and Variety reports tonight that Nosferatu star Aaron Taylor Johnson has signed on to the project. Additionally, Lily Rose Depp is currently in talks to join the film as well. Set in the 13th century and being described as a medieval horror movie, Robert Eggers' Werewolf will howl its way into theaters from Focus Features on Christmas Day 2026. All right, so we're getting a couple, our second Christmas Robert Eggers film. The filmmaker co-wrote the screenplay for Werewolf alongside Sion, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, the Icelandic poet and novelist who previously co-wrote the Viking movie The Northman with Eggers. Sion has also been announced as the co-writer for a new Labyrinth movie being directed by Eggers. All right, so he's got a writing partner. Exciting stuff. Chris Columbus, who produced Nosferatu, is on board to produce Werewolf as well. And the article finishes off by saying, while Universal hasn't had much success with their recent attempts to bring classic monsters back to life for today's audiences, with this year's Wolfman performing poorly at the box office, their Focus Features branch is looking to pick up some of the slack. Nosferatu has outgrossed recent Universal Monsters films, including The Invisible Man, Renfield, The Last Voyage of the Demeter, Abigail, and the aforementioned Wolfman. So staying in the Robert Eggers business and allowing him to make his own prestige monster movies is a wise choice. And Bloody Disgusting says, stay tuned for more on Robert Eggers' Werewolf as we learn it. Gosh, I hope that Aaron Taylor Johnson is playing the lead here in this film. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the live chat. I'm going to hop in and hang out with you guys there for a second, get your thoughts on this one. If you're watching after the fact, let me know in the comments section. Very curious to hear your thoughts on this next Robert Eggers venture. And make sure you like the vid, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more of the horror movie news we cover here on the channel. All right, let me see what you guys have got here. If he goes 3 for 3, Aaron Taylor Johnson, we both need to write him an apology letter. Yeah, we can co-sign. We'll put it together and co-sign it and stamp it for him. What's happening, Frank? How are you doing? We got Frank from Frank's Media and Reviews in the house. Hope you're doing well. Frank says all the Jason news has been shitty and disappointing. Maybe the TV series will give us some hope. Man, I was hoping to, Frank, and then I heard some stuff at Mad Monster this last weekend that doesn't sound too promising, unfortunately. Ugh. I don't know. I'm really hoping it's not true, but it doesn't sound very great there. Todd says our Revival Theater in Tucson is showing Day of the Dead on the actual Dia de los Muertos in November. Heck yeah. What is that, the 1st of November, I think? We got Happy Sanjo in the chat. What's happening, Coy? Hope you are doing well. That Skarsgård family is super talented. They are indeed, absolutely. And so, yeah, guys, I don't know. Werewolf, I'm kind of excited, especially with this news. I don't know, again, how I feel about Lily Rose Depp. I wasn't really impressed with her in Nosferatu. I thought she was serviceable, but certainly not one of my favorite parts of the movie. That's for sure. And let's see what other news we have that I think is worthy of sharing with you guys here. I have a whole bunch of stories brought up, and there's so much here. Yeah, let me see what we got. Well, I gotta share these. First batch of Jaws prints from Coda's official art exhibition available online. And yeah, we have some beautiful pieces of work here. This is from Alex DiVincenzo. It says Coda has released the first batch of Jaws prints from its recent official art exhibition celebrating the film's 50th anniversary. We've got a clever beach scene, 24 by 36 print, a Quint portrait that's 16 by 24. We've got an ominous illustration, 24 by 18, and a Japanese version of the poster that's 24 by 36. So let's take a look at these guys. I'm going to pull up each one individually here. So that's pretty killer there, with like the broken shovel being the shark fin on the beach. Very cool. I think that's even supposed to be Alex Kintner's mom there, right above the handle of the broken shovel. I dig that. We got a beautiful, looks like a hand painting of Quint. That's a beautiful shot. Very good likeness of Robert Shaw there. That is really good shit. Bunch of seagulls floating around him. Good stuff. We've got, this one is interesting right here. This like black and white, where like the ship is also the shark. That's a pretty cool little rough, kind of rough looking poster. I don't mean rough in a negative way. I kind of like the kind of haphazard nature of it and everything like that. And then of course we've got the Japanese poster there. You know, very familiar. Of course, I mean, it's exactly what we're used to seeing. There's just Japanese text there on that one as well. Are you guys going to get any of these? I have to share Jaws stuff. You guys know how I am. I can't not share the Jaws news when it pops up. Let me know if you're tired of seeing all the Jaws stuff. I totally get it if you are. But yeah, I think other than, you know, we've got a few other stories here. But I'd imagine we're going to cover some of this stuff on Hit the Bricks on Sunday. So I think I'm going to call the news there. Although one last thing that I do want to share, and I'm not going to read through this editorial, guys. I just want you guys to check it out. Journey to the Center of Despair. The Descent has lost none of its power after 20 years. So this is like a dive into, you know, what the movie The Descent says about, you know, dealing with traumatic experiences and sort of like facing personal demons and all that. So this is an editorial written by Brian Kuiper of Bloody Disgusting, and I encourage you guys to check this one out. If you haven't seen The Descent, you've got to check out this film. It is incredible. It's the most claustrophobic movie I've ever seen, and I absolutely adore this one. So I don't want to read through the whole editorial here. It is, you know, rather lengthy, but I think that if you're a fan of this film, you should definitely check this one out. And if you've never seen it, I think you should watch the film and then come back and read his editorial. It's very, very interesting stuff. Kind of, you know, just like an essay on what Brian thinks the film represents. So very, very cool stuff here from Bloody Disgusting. And there's a couple other stories about, you know, Zach Krager's, Zach Krager's Resident Evil. There's an update on Queens of the Dead, which is Tina Romero's zombie film. Looks like they haven't set a date yet, but they plan on releasing that in theaters this fall. We even have an Amityville, looks like an Amityville remake in works from the duo that put together Deadstream. I've never been the hugest Amityville guy, but maybe I need to go back and watch those films again. I've never even seen the remake with Ryan Reynolds or anything like that. And I've not seen Deadstream, but let me know in the chat, guys, if you are excited about any of those stories. And let me know what you want to see covered on Hit the Bricks here this Sunday. So yeah, just that kind of wraps up our horror movie news. Like I said, there's a few other stories here. But as I'm looking at them, I'm just sort of like, yeah, we've covered the big ones. We can save some for another time. And I think I'm going to go back on over here and do that. And there we go. I'm back with you guys with my late night with the Davey background. Holy cow, 22 people hanging out with us. Guys, if you're watching along and you haven't hit that like button, please make sure to hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, you know what? I'm not even going to say that because everyone that's here live, I know you guys are subscribed, right? Am I right? But if you're watching after the fact and you're not, you should hit subscribe. We are cruising on our way to 1,600 subs here on the channel, and all of that is not possible without you amazing, beautiful people. Let me see what you guys are saying about the last couple things we covered here. Antonis showing some love for Captain Quint there. Farewell and adieu to you, fair Spanish ladies. Frank's Media and Reviews says they're action figures. Are you talking about the NECA and the Jason stuff? I like the Quint poster, says Jamie. There you go. Yeah. Oh, no, they're action figures. They're not dolls. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Frank says my mom used to call my X-Men toys dolls. Too funny. Let's see here. Descent is a decent flick. I really love it. Yeah, I really dig it. I dig it lots. We got Leanna Bevy Rage in the house, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. How are you doing, Leanna? So great to see you. Todd said the Descent is awesome. Just make sure to watch it with the original ending. Yeah, the first time I watched the Descent, I didn't expect anything from it. I got super stoned, and oh my gosh, when you're really stoned and you watch something that's claustrophobic, holy cow, it gets very scary very quick. Let's see what else we got going. Come and knock on my door. There you go. MAGA Cat. Leanna throwing around the love here. Love to see it. Love to see it. Yeah, guys, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover on this edition of Late Night with the Davey, but here's the cool thing, guys. We can just sort of chill out. If you guys have anything you want to talk about, or yeah, anything you want to see on Hit the Bricks this coming Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, let me know, and I'll make sure that we send it off to the boys and have a chat about it here in just a few days. Oh my goodness. Guys, it is so friggin' hot and muggy here in the Phoenix area. 96 degrees, partly cloudy. They say it feels like 92. I guess that's a blessing right there. I guess that's a blessing. Oh my goodness, really quick, guys. I wanted to make sure and share this again with you all. I have to do this again for these guys. I meant to do this at the beginning of the stream tonight. Haddonfield Radio, if you guys don't follow that channel, you gotta jump in and check out Haddonfield Radio. They've been doing this once a month. They put out like a 3-hour podcast where they've been covering the big three. So their first season was Halloween. The second season was A Nightmare on Elm Street. And now they're covering the Friday the 13th films. They just dropped Jason Takes Manhattan on the 13th. And they talk about the film and like tell a true, like a true crime story to start the podcast. So usually it's about like an hour and a half of talking about the film and relating it to something in real life. And then they watch the film and they have like a prepared commentary for the film. So it's very engaging, really awesome stuff. Those guys have been absolutely amazing. Joe and Christian have been so great. They have shouted out the Davey Death Ray channel in, you know, multiple episodes now. It's incredibly flattering that they, you know, think to mention what we're doing over here. They love the coverage on the Friday the 13th stuff and all that. And I know they've been enjoying the live stream. So guys, if you're watching, thank you so much for being so cool. They gave Toronto Freddy this awesome shout out on the Jason Takes Manhattan podcast this last time around, which was very cool. And Toronto Freddy was the guy that turned me onto the channel. And I know that you guys have seen him pop up in the chat over here, you know, every so often. So really great guys. They have awesome voices and very engaging stuff. I always like checking out their podcast like all the way through. And then once I've listened to the whole thing, I might put it on as like a, you know, horror ASMR as I'm, you know, dozing off at night. So just wanted to give those guys some extra love here this evening. And it looks like I missed a couple people joining us. Holy cow, we got Destiny Faulkner in the house. How you doing, Des? So great to see ya. The Oct just got home from seeing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in the theater. Yeah, it's a Fathom event this month. I really enjoy Cuckoo's Nest, but I'm still sad that it beat Jaws for Best Picture from that year. It's too bad. It's really too bad. Let's see. I saw Jamie and asked me about, where was that, Jamie? Are you still watching Twin Peaks? Yes, my brother and I took a little bit of a break, just with our schedules not quite matching up. So I don't know if we need to both watch, you know, on our own and then meet up or something like that to start watching again. But, you know, I was gone all weekend at Mad Monster. And then, unfortunately, my brother got like a pretty bad fever and everything. So he was kind of out, you know, during the weekend and the beginning of the week as well. So it's been a couple weeks and I'm starting to itch for a little Twin Peaks action, especially because my guy, Duncan Allen, who was on Late Night with the Davey just 2 weeks ago, you know, talking about and sharing his band Hard Pill and his band Black Church and Lesser Animals as well. He just took his dog out to like the Snoqualmie Falls and visited the town from Twin Peaks. So, you know, he got like coffee and cherry pie at the, you know, the R&R cafe or the Double R. I don't know. What do they call it? What do they call it there? So he went to the cafe. He checked out the falls where the lodge is and everything. And I'm like, man, I really, really want to get back into Twin Peaks. I have been itching to get back into that show. So yes, I'll let you guys know. Des and Jamie, I'll let you know when I'm, you know, back into it big time. The Oct says, I love the Haddonfield radio guys. They are way too cool. Yeah, they are the best. Paul Pietstrak. How are you doing, Paul? Welcome on in, man. Says, any news on Mother of Flies from the Addams family who did Hellbender and Hellhole? It was bought by Shudder. Paul, I do think I saw something about that. Let me see. This is the first time we've had a, you know, like a request of covering a news story, but I do think I saw something there. So let me see if I can bring that up really quick here. Just scrolling through Bloody Disgusting. There we go. Mother of Flies. Yeah, let's take a look at that, Paul. Welcome on into the channel. You're kicking it with the Death Squad. If this is your first time, welcome. A little extra for you. If this isn't your first time, then I apologize for not remembering. But yeah, let's take a look at that here in a sec there. I've known Toronto Freddy for years. Great guy. Yeah, he's awesome. Well, yeah, and who knows if Jaws would have really won, but Cuckoo's Nest won for the very same year. There you go. I'm not jealous at all. Yeah, I was thinking about sharing that. I like I can grab some pictures from his Facebook and share them with you guys if you want to get extra jealous. I am totes jelly. Totes hella jelly. I have to fly clear to the other side of the country to go to those Twin Peaks Falls. Yeah, it's true. Darkness, more like descent into mayhem. Davey, how's the therapy, my friend? Therapy went well, Prince. Welcome on in. Great to see you. Looking forward to, yeah, to the, you know, just following through with the therapy and doing the homework and all that good stuff. Yeah, for sure. Let me see here. Damn, I just woke up. Damn medicine. Well, you got to get better somehow, and sleep is the best way, right, Brett? So yeah, guys, let's take a look at, Paul had brought up this Mother of Flies. I don't know much about this stuff because I haven't seen Hellbender or Hellhole. I've been to a couple Hellholes in my life. So, but let me get us back on over here. And there we go. I'm going to bring this up and yeah, we'll cover this news story, guys. Can you still hear me? Can everyone hear me? I just want to make sure because the last time I switched over, it muted my ass. So yeah, let's go ahead and check this out. It looks like everything's working with the audio and everything like that. Destiny enjoyed Hellbender. Okay, so it looks like I've got some catch up to do there. Okay, let's check this article out. Why don't we? This is from John Squires. Posted earlier today, says Mother of Flies, Shudder will release next movie from the Addams family in 2026. So filmmaking trio Toby Poser, John Adams, and Zelda Adams from Hellbender, Where the Devil Roams, and Hellhole are collectively known as the Addams family, and their next horror project is a film titled Mother of Flies. Variety reports this afternoon that the film will keep the Addams family in business with Shudder, as the streamer has picked up the rights to the movie. Variety details, written, directed, and starring Toby Poser, John Adams, and their daughter Zelda Adams. The film will also feature their older daughter, Lulu Adams, in a co-starring role. Shudder will bring Mother of Flies to streaming sometime in 2026. And here is the plot synopsis for The Haunted Fairy Tale. Quote, Mickey faces a terminal diagnosis, even though she isn't ready to die yet. Heading into the woods with her father, she seeks dark magic at the hands of a mysterious recluse, Solveig. For 3 days, Mickey endures Solveig's extreme rituals, but the cure comes at a cost. End quote. And the article goes on to say, Shudder feels like a family, quote, Shudder feels like a family, a beautiful creative home offering up the most diverse and eclectic platform to its voracious horror-loving audience. For our small family that loves making bloody movie magic together in the woods, it feels so good to be welcomed back with Mother of Flies to the cinemadness and dark, brilliant mayhem at Shudder. We are grateful to Samuel Zimmerman and the whole Shudder team for being such wonderful, generous, and always fun partners in creativity, said the Addams family. Samuel Zimmerman adds, quote, once again, Shudder embraces the singular world of the Addams family, some of the most original voices in horror. Mother of Flies is a gnarled complement to their witchy gem, Hellbender, deeply felt and frightening. We're thrilled for it to dig its twisted roots into our members. Wow, that sounds painful when someone says members like that. But I get what they're saying. They mean their subscribers on the platform Shudder. They don't mean members in a crotchal sense. So yeah, I guess I got to check out these movies. I've got to check out Hellbender, Where the Devil Roams, and Hellhole. So I have an idea of, what these folks are all about. But there's an image from, I believe this must be an image from a previous film of theirs, or maybe they're already in production and it's an image from the upcoming film. But yeah, guys, let me know in the chat what you think of this Addams Family group, their previous films, and let me know how excited you are for Mother of Flies. And if you're watching after the fact, jump on into the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. We will continue to cover all sorts of horror movie news here on the Davey Death Ray channel. All right, guys, I'm going to see what you all are saying about this. Let's go ahead and bring it on back here and do that. And there we go. We are all set. Let's see what you got. Yes, we can hear you. Well, thank God, because I just went for it. Out of left field, is anyone watching From? Bonkers in the Best Way. I've never seen that one. That's a TV show, right? I think so. I think it is. Check out From. It's Lost Taken to Insanity. All right. I read too much fan fiction for member to mean anything else. I know. I just think I don't think about it in a not a dirty way, but in a very, painful way, I suppose. Davey Death Ray, how about at the young age of 98, Mel Brooks in pre-production of Spaceballs 2? I'm super pumped for that. I'm excited for Spaceballs 2, just because Mel Brooks seems to he has that spunk and that vigor. So I don't even think Josh Gad can ruin it for me, but we'll see. I liked the teaser. I thought the teaser was funny. I liked how they went about that, so we'll see what it all looks like once we actually get, a teaser or a trailer with the actual performances caught on it there. What's happening? We got Jason from Backtrack Cinema. How are you doing, J-Man? Hope everything is going well for you. Paul says all 3 Addams Family films are dark and well produced. Okay, I'll have to check them out. I will absolutely have to give them a go. So holy cow, there we are. Hour and a half. We covered some news. I showed off all that fun Mad Monster business. Guys, if you missed my stream from Friday night, from this past Friday, at Mad Monster, it's a super fun one. A whole bunch of zany antics, and Mad Monster, what a blast. If it hits your city or if it's close to your city, check out the con. They are great at what they do, and this one was quite possibly the best. I would say this is the best horror con I've been to. I may have enjoyed Halloween 45 a little bit more because it was really fun to go to South Pasadena and check out the locations and get to meet Frank and Darren from the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast and hang out with Cody Snyder and, rub elbows with Malik Akkad, all that kind of fun stuff. But as far as like, you know, horror convention goes that's not like focused, I would say Mad Monster. I don't think anyone does it better. You know, I've been to just a few others, Gathering of the Ghouls, Christmas to Dismember, and Days of the Dead. I would say Mad Monster, which I've gone to, I think, twice now, maybe 3 times. No, I've gone to Mad Monster twice. I would say that's the king of the hill for me. But I'd love to check out, you know, the Texas Frightmare and Scarefest and all that stuff. But those are on the other side of the country, or at least halfway through the country for me. But yeah. I'm good, Davey. Just writing a short script right now. And yes, Jason, I know I owe you some stuff for your slasher series. I'm so sorry that it's taken me forever. Trying to get some stuff finished up here for the channel that I really want to have out by the weekend. I've got an interview that I'm editing right now that I'm really excited about. And then, you know, just keeping up on everything as far as, you know, spending the whole weekend at Mad Monster, put everything kind of on hold for the channel. You know, other than being able to go live. And then, yeah, just all these movies that are coming out, you know, talking about Superman. Tomorrow I'm going to check out I Know What You Did Last Summer and put together a review for that. So I haven't forgotten about you, bud. I will get that going for you as soon as I am able, for sure. Definitely planning a huge trip for H50. Hell yeah, Brett. Be great to meet you in person, bud. Destiny's going to go to H50 as well. All right. I love it. Loved Mad Monster. Yeah, when I went there and I saw you and Braden like walked by and I was like, oh my gosh, I recognize that guy. But I was extra nobody at that point, Des, so I didn't stop you guys and bug y'all. Love Days of the Dead, my first convention I've ever been to. Yeah, they canceled out here last minute and it was this really weird thing, unfortunately, out here in Phoenix. Holy cow, Paul drops a super sticker for $3. Let me jump on over to YouTube so I can take a look at that. We've got a cute little bird with a thumbs up. Thank you so much for the $3 super sticker, Paul. Really appreciate you, bud. Well, I appreciate your patience, Jason. Thank you so much. Look at that. Leanna throwing out the thank yous to Paul as well. You guys are catching up with each other. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I don't know what else I have for you guys. I know, kind of a short, I don't know. Is this the shortest late night with the Davey ever if I just say goodbye right now, or do you guys have anything that you want to talk about? Yeah, I was wearing my Hawaiian shirt with Leatherface, Jason, Freddie, and Michael. Yeah, it was a couple years ago, right, Des? You were out there. I believe this was 2023, the one that I saw you guys hanging out at. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I usually wear that shirt on the same, like, you know, first day of a con. I'm gonna wear that shirt because it's my favorite and it's very comfortable. Always wears. Well, this isn't that funny. This is just beige. This is about as like unfunny as it gets, right? But yeah, I like to look styling. You know what I mean? I'll tell you this: that Hawaiian shirt, if I wear that and I go to like Costco or I'm just out and about, I always get compliments on it. You know, some people are like, "Oh, I just thought that was some like random dad shirt or Tommy Bahama, whatever." And then once they see the horror icons on there, like the cool people get it, right? I think that's the fun thing about wearing a shirt like that. Like when I was a teenager, I loved wearing band shirts of the, you know, relatively obscure punk rock bands I listened to, because I was like, well, if someone says something about my shirt, then I know that they're cool too, just like me, because I'm the coolest. I remember pointing your shirt out to Braden. Oh, way too cool. Yeah, and that was before, you know, I'd never even met Braden. I had just been, you know, listening to, or, you know, watching his podcasts and his videos, you know, chronicling the Halloween series. Well, there you go. Well, that's too sweet. And then just a few weeks ago, our paths finally crossed in person. So how awesome was that? And Des, I've got a pizza place that you've got to check out the next time you're in town, okay? So I really like slices. I think I found one that's even better. So they're right across the street from the AMC that's at Westgate. Westgate is, I'm sure you guys have been out there, but for you folks that have never been to the Phoenix area or haven't been able to, you know, check out of the greater Phoenix area. So Westgate is this area where the Cardinals play their, you know, they've got their stadium. There's a former hockey arena for the Coyotes, and they do a bunch of concerts there. They do concerts at the Cardinal Stadium as well. So they've got, you know, an arena, a stadium. They've got the Renaissance Hotel, which is where Mad Monster was held. There's an AMC in this whole area, a whole bunch of like shopping. It's just this like really cool hub of a whole bunch of entertainment. And Des, across the street from the AMC, there's a pizza spot called Lil Capo, and they do pizza by the slice. That's my new favorite. So when you come back to town, we gotta, you know, meet up at Westgate. As many of us that we can round up, meet up at Westgate, go grab a slice, maybe catch a flick or something, or go shopping at the outlets. So Prince, I got 6 autographs on my Jason mask here. So there you go. 6 autographs there on the Jason mask. It was completely naked before this weekend. And then I was able to get Danielle Harris's autograph on this Halloween 5 picture there. So 7 in total. So not so bad. Not so bad. That only enhanced your experience of horror greatness. You're damn right. Davey only has fun shirts. He must have borrowed tonight's shirt. Yes. Yeah, sometimes I just got to go with something relatively plain. I can't wear the blazer when it's this hot, guys. I really wish I could. Oh my God, we got Pat, that Halloween movie collector, in the house. One of our amazing channel members and an awesome member of the YouTube horror community as well. Says, I have that shirt too and the matching shorts. All right, hell yeah. We had a fun time last night on Pat's channel watching Land of the Dead. If you missed that watch party, hop on over there and check it out. I adore that movie, and yeah, it was great hanging out with Pat. Todd says, I've got a kind of stupid, insecure question for y'all. I'm working on a board game based on the movie War Games and keep getting mixed messages from MGM. So, ... would you be interested in a War Games game? Let Todd know. You know, I've never seen War Games. I'm well aware of what it is, and I know the plot and everything. I've just never actually watched the movie myself. It came out when I was just a little kid, and I just have never gone back to revisit it. Yeah, I think it's better than Slices. Cecil said so as well. He's like, Slices is the McDonald's of slice pizza. This is much better. And I think there's something about the crust with Lil Capo that, you know, outdoes it. Liana! Paul says Skill House with 50 Cent from Fathom Events was some bloody fun. I don't know if we're going to get that here. It pops up on my AMC app, but every time I'm checking to see if there's any, you know, screenings in the Phoenix area, I'm not seeing anything. So maybe in a week or two, something will pop up. I'm not sure. I really hope so, though. All right. Yes, we'll have to grab a slice for sure. Hallow Scream. Braden did that series with us. Halloween review series. Yeah, that must have been the one. That must have been the one. Yeah, very happy to see that as well, Prince. We covered that here. A little eggnog. Is that Robert Eggers' new nickname now? Eggnog? I guess that makes sense. It's going to be his second Christmas movie in a row. Well, maybe any third, right? Is he doing A Christmas Carol before Werewolf or after Werewolf? So he might have 3 Christmas movies in a row there. Let's see here. War Games. War Games was a great movie. Sounds like I have to check it out because Leanna has fabulous taste. Ashton says, Prince, if Aaron gives another great performance, me and Davey both got to write him an apology letter and send it to him. Yes, we will. We'll sign it in blood. Yeah. Good Real Hunting is a maniac on the grill. Yeah. Good grill hunting, right? Yes, Leanna. Every time I see Dynamite Tiger in the chat, and especially if Leanna isn't around, I'm like, oh, we got no one to say we have the best tigers in the chat. But now we do. Now we do because Leanna's here. All right, Jamie saw War Games at the drive-in. I'll have to check that one out then sometime soon for sure. Okay, well, we can just make it look that way, right? Antona says, can you bring Eli Roth on Late Night with the Davey? I don't know. You guys think I have that pull? I don't know if I'd be able to get him on the show. I guess it doesn't hurt to reach out and try. Ask him some questions about when the hell we're getting Thanksgiving 2, because I can't wait. You know, it sounds like we're going to have to wait, though, just because we haven't seen anything about Thanksgiving 2. Yeah, I don't know. Todd says, long story, I've been working on it for a few years, the War Games board game. The studio with the rights keeps going back and forth on it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess either way, you'd probably have to get their rights, you know, if you wanted to, you know, if you're going to put your time and effort into it for sure. Yeah. Oh my goodness, you guys. 141. I am parched. There we go. Wet my whistle a little bit. That's true. Yes, Dean. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. Oh, too good. Yeah, I got to reach out. There's a few people that I've been meaning to reach out to. And yeah, Eli Roth, I don't know if I'd ever be able to get him on the channel, but guys, if it works out to where the horror show channel can do media for Mad Monster again, you know, if everything goes as planned with that, you know, then maybe if Eli happens to be at one of these events, we'd be able to, you know, get a little interview time with him. But I suppose I could reach out and see if he wants to be, you know, on late night. I think that would be really cool. I did reach out to, you guys know I'm a huge punk rock fan. My favorite band of all time is called Lifetime. They're from New Brunswick, New Jersey. Even a lot of people that love punk rock don't, you know them too well. But I reached out to Ari Katz, the singer from Lifetime, and asked him to be on the show. So trying to work out some stuff with him to see if we could get him on to talk about, you know, his experience playing punk music. Lifetime started in I think it was 94, 93, 94 when they first started. So going a ways back, but they were very ahead of their time. And a lot of the East Coast punk rock that came out in the late 90s and early 2000s was very influenced by Lifetime. You know, bands like Saves the Day and Taking Back Sunday and The Strider and a whole bunch of stuff like that was very much influenced by Lifetime, and they kind of rewrote the book for me, much like, you know, when I first saw Night of the Living Dead and then I watched The Evil Dead. The way that those movies made me rethink what horror could be and what filmmaking could be. When I heard Lifetime, they recalibrated everything for me about, you know, what songwriting structure looked like and the way that punk rock could make me feel and the way that punk rock sounded, because I grew up on a lot of West Coast style punk rock, and even stuff like the Ramones. You know, obviously they're from New York, but they have a very verse chorus kind of, you know, very Beach Boysy West Coast sound, even though they're from New York. So I grew up on a very structured kind of punk rock, and so hearing Lifetime just sort of just broke that all apart, and was very influential on the way that I approach songwriting, you know, after I became a fan. Yeah, Brett, you're knees deep into this whole Survivor thing, huh? Catching up on the reality shows, huh? There you go. I'm a night owl, Dynamite. I wish I could be close to falling asleep. Yes, you gotta double dose the melatonin, right? Jamie says, I'm in my office on the PC, can't see Shiznit on my phone. Davey, Eddie Murphy or Bernie Mac? I'd go Eddie Murphy. Yeah, for sure. Pat says, I don't sleep. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I felt the same way after this weekend, Pat. Yeah. Yeah, Paul Romero's daughter is doing Queens of the Dead. I've covered it on the channel. I talked about it briefly today. I was going to share the news story, but there's not really anything new. So I have covered it previously. Yeah, she's making a movie called Queens of the Dead. It's looking to be released this fall in theaters, but they don't have a date yet. If they had a date, I would talk more about the story. But since we don't really have that, I feel like within the next few weeks, we'll probably have a rock solid date for the release of that film, and we can jump into that story and cover it more in depth for sure. But yeah, guys, if you haven't let me know so far, what is your most anticipated film of 2025 from this point on? What are you looking forward to most? And it doesn't even have to be horror. I mean, if you want to tell me your most anticipated horror and then your most anticipated non-horror, you know, I'm really looking forward to Weapons. I want to see Together. Naked Gun, I'm sort of like, I'm hopeful on Naked Gun. I really like the first trailer. The second one, not as much, but I still think that movie could make me laugh. I'm very intrigued by what they've got going there. Tron Ares, I'm looking forward to that one as well. Black Phone 2, looking forward to that. I don't know. Let me know in the chat what is your most anticipated film from this point on of 2025. Dynamite says, who would win between Michael Jordan versus Teen Wolf? I think Michael Jordan would win. Not at the age he is now, but if you took Michael Jordan mid-90s, I think Michael Jordan's going to win. Yeah, for sure. I don't think anyone would beat him one-on-one, really. Yeah, Together looks pretty damn good. Pat is looking forward to Spinal Tap 2. The End Continues. Yes, that should be really good as well. When does that come out, Pat? Is that like right around the corner? I haven't seen a date on it, but admittedly, I pay more attention to horror movie news than just standard movie news for sure. Seeing Together early next Wednesday. Hell yeah, there you go. No opinion on The Clash. Did I miss something about The Clash? I'm relatively lukewarm on those guys, honestly. I like the songs that aren't, like, I think my favorite Clash song is probably like Spanish Bombs. What's the other one? Is it like Lost in the Supermarket or something? Like the ones that aren't the really big hits are the ones that I think I enjoy a little bit more. And I think like Spanish Bombs, I think that one was written by Mick Jones, if I'm correct on that. So I don't know what it is about The Clash that never quite hit me. You know, the way that I had hoped it would, or the way it hits most people, I suppose. We got Jay Diamond in the chat. What's happening? Jay says, hi, Davey. Just wanted to say hello. I had to let my phone charge before I could use it. No worries, Jay. And Jay, I haven't forgotten about the muscle tees. Guys, I'm going to put some muscle tees on the Fourth Wall Shop, so keep an eye out for that. If you've not yet checked out the Fourth Wall Shop, what the heck are you doing? We've got a discount code, promo code Death Squad for 15% off at checkout. We actually have, you know, Death Squad merch. So we've got hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, all that fun stuff. We have our Jamie Hart line, which is I saw that in the theater. So we have shirts, a mug, and a hat, and sweatshirts for that as well. So check out the Fourth Wall Shop, and you'll see some muscle tees bumping in there soon enough. September 12th for Spinal Tap 2. All right, there we go. I guess I'm not familiar with the song. I just never, I don't know. They didn't grip me enough to do the deep dive, Leanna. I don't know what it is. I think what ruined a lot of that early punk for me is I really got into stuff like the Descendants. And so when I went back to some of that earlier stuff, it just didn't hit me as much. Like even the stuff I enjoy from the Ramones mostly is like albums like Pleasant Dreams is like one of my favorite, you know, Ramones records. Rocket to Russia, I really enjoy that one. Road to Ruin. And then I think Nevermind the Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols is pretty damn good as well. Bodies is like the only song I don't really dig on that record, but the rest of it I quite enjoy. The Long Walk from Stephen King. So that is Paul's most anticipated. All right. Yeah, we got, Stephen King adaptations just keep on coming, don't they? Todd says Joe Strummer's work with the Mescaleros was better, but the Clash rocks. Yeah, I got nothing against him. It's just I don't want to be phony baloney and act like I'm the biggest fan when they just, for whatever reason, didn't resonate as much with me, you know? Medicine hitting strong now. Have a great night, everyone. Great job as always, Davey. Thank you so much for kicking it with us, Brett. You are awesome. Really appreciate you being a channel member and a Death Squad mod as well. I hope you feel better soon and get back to your streaming. I've really enjoyed the relaunch and rebrand of Good Real Hunting. So guys, if you're not subscribed over to Good Real Hunting, you're gonna wanna go over there and throw them a sub, because they have a whole bunch of new shows and new fun stuff to check out for sure. Ashton says not a movie, but I'm interested in Welcome to Derry. I think that one, the production value looks really good on Welcome to Derry. Yeah, it's looking pretty solid for sure. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jamie. Yeah, at least check it out just to see if there's something there for you. There's a whole bunch of really great merch. I think it's pretty damn affordable, and then you can get 15% off. So why the heck not? Pat says, I was never a Clash guy like them, but I'm a diehard Sex Pistols fan. There you go. Love Bodies. They opened with that when I saw them in 1996 on the Filthy Lucre Live tour. Yeah, it is. I appreciate that it's like a minor key song and it's very different. And I think it's the only song that Sid Vicious has a writing credit on, because I think they wrote all the other songs with Glenn Matlock off that record, if I remember correctly. Jay says, movies I'm looking forward to are Fantastic Four, Witchboard, The Black Phone 2, and The Running Man, and The Long Walk. All right. I keep on forgetting about Witchboard. I rewatched that trailer, and it does look pretty interesting. And yeah, guys, the Witchboard remake is directed by Chuck Russell. So, you know, if you're a fan of A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, or maybe you like 1988's The Blob, then check out the trailer for the Witchboard remake, because Chuck Russell is back. Maybe he's been doing stuff in the interim and I just haven't really noticed, or haven't been following along closely enough. But yeah, that one looks pretty intriguing. Sean is back. What's happening, Sean? If you scrub back, I shared some pictures of you dressed in your Jost? In your Colin Jost gear. No, your Ghost Jason gear, Sean. Thank you for jumping back in. Jamie says, I'm into The Cure and the Violent Femmes. That's about as punk as I get. Yeah, I think that's pretty punk adjacent for the time, for sure. Yeah, for sure. There we go. We got our mod, Leanna, welcoming in Sean. Hell yeah. Actually, you're right. Michael Jordan would win because Teen Wolf ain't real. Damn it. That was the only defense that works, Dynamite. The primary difference between the Clash and the Sex Pistols is that the Clash actually knew how to play their instruments. Well, the Sex Pistols know how to play their instruments. It's just Sid that didn't know how to play. And Sid didn't join until Nevermind the Bollocks was already, you know, in the can. So Glenn Matlock knew how to play bass. And what is it? Steve Jones, the guitarist from the Sex Pistols, he really knew how to play. I would say the primary difference is that the Sex Pistols are more there for entertainment, and they can rip solos, and they're more polished. I would say the Clash was there to be political and to, you know, try to make people think about socio-political topics, and they're more of like a feel kind of band, you know, early on, of course, with the punk stuff, but then going into like London Calling with more of that kind of second wave ska kind of feel, you know, a little bit more, maybe not so much like a jam band, but more of a band that you could like groove to and had a little bit more of a reggae feel. So, I mean, I do think the difference is pretty vast between the Clash and the Sex Pistols for sure. But I don't think the Sex Pistols couldn't play their instruments. I just think it was Sid Vicious. I'm not the biggest Sid fan, but admittedly, the band did all their best stuff before he joined, you know. Jay says, Davey, did you hear about the re-release of The Fog that's going on next month out in LA? And they're going to be presenting a 4K version of The Fog in Fogovision. I have not heard that, Jay. That sounds very exciting. I think The Fog is great. I haven't watched it as much as I probably should have by this point in my life. So, you know, I've seen it maybe 3 or 4 times, something like that. So I'm due for another viewing of The Fog. I really love the music. I think it's one of John Carpenter's best soundtracks, and that's saying something because I have never heard a bad soundtrack from Carpenter. But that sounds awesome, man. See what else we got. We got some Violent Femmes love. Saw them at Woodstock 94, says Pat. Leanna loves the Violent Femmes. I am not surprised that Leanna likes the Violent Femmes because they've got that lo-fi, garagey kind of sound. She loves it. She eats that up. So, guys, if you're listening to any kind of lo-fi, garagey type music, especially if there are melodies and chord progressions that are reminiscent of 50s and 60s rock and roll and doo-wop, hit your girl up and let her know, because that is her jam 100%. Davey, are you catching any Pistol shows coming up? Was thinking Brooklyn, but they're playing a festival in Brooklyn. I am probably not. No, I mean, I would maybe consider it if like Johnny Rotten were there. Nothing against like Frank Turner. I just like, to me, it's like the Sex Pistols with Frank Turner. It wouldn't feel like I was seeing the Sex Pistols. Does that make sense? It just wouldn't. I wouldn't count it as me seeing the Sex Pistols, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, they don't like Johnny because of his politics or whatever. But if Johnny can still sing, then I would prefer to watch the Sex Pistols with Johnny for sure. And I think like another thing too about like punk rock is like, you know, you don't kick out a member of your punk rock band because you don't see eye to eye on everything. But whatever. Let's see what else you guys got going on. The Clash, the band that only mattered. Or you mean the only band that mattered? I guess I would disagree just because I've fallen in love with so many bands and I know that they were inspired by the Clash, I'm sure. But I've fallen in love with so much music and punk rock and to me, yes, the Clash are certainly punk rock. They're pop too, for sure. Make no mistake. The Ramones, the Sex Pistols, the Velvet Underground, the Clash, like those bands that people think of as like the you know, punk rock bands that kind of broke through. Like I think they're also like, you could also call them pop bands as well. Because there's a reason why their shirts get sold at, you know, Target and Walmart, and there's a reason why John Cusack is talking about them in every single movie he makes. You know, so it doesn't make them not punk. It just also makes them pop for sure. Yeah, Pat's backing me up there. Pat went to music school, and Pat's a hell of a musician. So there you go. Yeah, that's what surprised me the most about the Sex Pistols when I first listened to Nevermind the Bollocks. Is I was like, oh shit, there's solos. Like the Ramones weren't soloing, you know. I think the Nevermind the Bollocks has some really ripping, beautiful like blues rock solos in there with the punk. Yeah, all the hate, I think a lot of the hate for Sex Pistols is misguided because I think it's mostly pointed at Sid Vicious. But again, Sid Vicious was very late in the game. We remember him because of his look and his persona and his, you know, the scandal and his untimely end. So we then like, you know, it's sort of like a Mandela effect where you think that Sid Vicious was like this founding member or like he was like the guy in the Sex Pistols, and it just wasn't the case. Peter Hook from Joy Division / New Order had some hilarious Joe Strummer stories. Oh, I bet. Is the punkest thing about Joe Strummer that he didn't take care of his teeth? Is that the punkest thing about him? It might be. That's pretty punk rock to just like not take care of your oral health. Love Joy Division and New Order. Yeah, I would say I like Joy Division more than I like the Clash. Yeah. Now, if you want to call Joy Division punk rock, I guess you can sort of like mix them in there. I sort of think of them as that like gothy, punky, new wavy, you know, almost like proto new wave, you know, not too dissimilar from stuff like The Cure and all that. Like, so yeah, kind of right there. You know, when punk was new, and I guess like you can consider like anything that's like 70s through the early 80s as like, you know, the early era of punk. It's like the Clash was punk, the Sex Pistols were punk. You know, even people call the Stooges punk, which I'm not sure. I don't think the music really matches with punk rock, and that was like late 60s, I think, when they started. If you're going to say the Stooges are punk, then let's just go all the way back to the mid 60s, and the Kinks are punk rock as well. You know, one of the first like mainstream punk rock bands. If we're going to consider the Stooges punk, then the Kinks are punk. Okay. And then you move forward, and there was this time, especially late 70s, early 80s, where yeah, it's bands like Sex Pistols, Ramones, Clash, Joy Division, The Damned, Descendants, Black Flag, and then even bands like Bad Religion and NoFX are around at that point, and a Violent Femmes. All those bands sound so different. That was the wild thing. There's this label called SST Records, and the crazy thing about SST is you could get a Descendants record, a Black Flag record, and a Minutemen record. All of those bands are punk rock, and they do not sound alike at all, in my opinion. And even on a Black Flag record, you're going to get some like what they're doing on the record is like weaving in and out of punk rock. Is a very interesting time where it almost was more about your approach and your way of life and the way that you approached your music and just like the, you know, kind of reckless abandon kind of vibe. And so it is a very interesting, you know, punk is probably one of the most difficult words to define when you're talking about music. And then there's the whole idea of like your way of life can be punk rock. Like I've described The Evil Dead as a punk rock movie for decades, and I've heard even, you know, like Bill Hader, I've listened to him like multiple interviews. He calls The Evil Dead punk rock, and I'm like, quit stealing my shit. But great minds think alike, right? So it's like punk rock can be so much. I don't know. The scope isn't as finely tuned as some people might think. I even think early Elvis Costello, you know, this year's Model, Armed Forces, those two records to me are punk rock records. So yeah, it's kind of wild. And I'm just like on one. You guys are probably like, shut the hell up, Davey. Sean says, yo, that's awesome. Mad Monster was a highlight of my decade. Fucking cool, dude. Never been to a horror con before, and meeting Vince and all you guys at Horror Show Channel was the best part of going. Well, dude, it was really cool hanging out with you and your girl. Really sweet of you guys to kick it with us. Very fortunate to have become friends with those guys at the Horror Show Channel. I started this channel here right at the same time I was meeting those guys, and I've been, you know, making videos and doing reviews with Cecil for almost 2 years now. And, you know, just recently within the last few months became an official member of the channel. So you just never know what these conventions will lead to. I think that's a beautiful thing about Mad Monster and the horror community is when I went to Mad Monster on July 10th, 2023, I was like, yes, I'm going to start a channel. I want to get more involved. But if you told me in 2 years I'd be hanging out with over 20 people on a Wednesday night, shooting the shit, making real friends through this community online and in person, and then being able to share a table with Vincent DeSanti from Never Hike Alone, who's, you know, filmmaking I looked up to years before I met him. I was enjoying those movies. So I was very, you know, kind of starstruck and nervous when I first met Vin. And now we've been able to hang out, you know, half a dozen times or whatever that we've hung out. Ron Sloan there at the table too, like to be able to share a table with an alumni from Friday the 13th. It's incredible, dude. So you just never know what can come from this kind of thing, Sean. It is, it can be transformative, man, in the best way possible. And since I started the channel, my life has gone through some pretty intense ups and downs, like in my personal life and stuff. These people have all been there, you know, through the good and the bad. And I'm pumped that we were able to hang out as well, man. Can't wait to see you at the next one. I'll be on the lookout. Leanna says Joe Strummer's song Coma Girl is one hell of a banger. You know what I'm going to do is when I take my phone off Do Not Disturb after the stream, I'm going to have like, I just know it. From Leanna, I'm going to have a whole bunch of songs lined up in our text chain there that I'll have to catch up on. Let's see here. Davey, what's the difference between a funeral home and a mortuary? Is this a joke? Are you waiting for me to say I don't know so you can tell me the punchline? I don't know. Tell me the punchline. What the fuck is Fogovision? Well, I'm guessing it's like the William Castle kind of thing, right? Where they pump fog into the theater while you're watching. Maybe they splash a little mist on you to make you really feel it, you know? Let's see what else we got. You guys talking that Joe Strummer? Yeah, educate me. You know what I mean? Like, my opinion is only based on what I know, and I don't know everything. So if there's something I'm missing, absolutely hit me up with a DM or something, and let me know what I should be checking out and listening to. Are you seeing Alice Cooper in Phoenix in October? I don't know, Todd. I would love to go check that out. I'll just have to see if finances and everything would allow it. But I really do enjoy Alice's work, and it would be a cool thing to check off the list for sure. Jay agrees with me about John Carpenter's soundtracks. Have Halloween 2 and 3 in the Fog on CD along with Christine. But Christine is more like a soundtrack and not a score. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of John Carpenter on vinyl. Yeah, all the new Halloween movies. I have the extended version of 2018, that soundtrack, and then I have all of his Lost themes. So what are the four Lost themes, I think, records at this point? Pat says my favorite punk band to this day is still The Damned. Love them to death. Seen them a dozen or so times. Yeah, seminal punk rock, man. Really, really good shit. I love that. What's the name of the record? Oh, I can't think of it right now. The record where they have like the ice cream and cake all over themselves. That is one of the best album covers of all time, I think. Jamie says, I also like 10,000 Maniacs and Natalie Merchant, but where I'm from, that's a requirement. Not that they are punk, just alternative. Yeah, I dig Natalie Merchant's voice quite a bit. Yeah. Both those groups are fun, yeah. Public Image Limited, greater than the Sex Pistols. I think Public Image Limited is pretty fun. It's very different and much more kind of soundscapey and much more, what's concept heavy, I would say. Public Image Limited is way more a concept kind of band than like a straightforward, you know, like pop song or rock song structure, for sure. And I am so far back. Paul says, do you mostly review mainstream and independent horror, or do you look into more controversial, like Unearthed Films, Mary and Dora, and Lucifer Valentine? I have never heard of those, Paul. So yeah, there's got to be some underground stuff I have not, you know, dove into at this point in my life. I would say when it comes to movies that I review, I just recently kind of got on the review train because I got that AMC A-list. So I've been reviewing whatever, like horror movies. I reviewed Superman, you know, Jurassic World, all that kind of stuff. But I've been doing the newer horror movies as well. Sometimes on this channel, sometimes on the Horror Show channel. There's a whole bunch of great horror content over there if you're into that. But man, if there's anything that you want me to check out and, you know, and talk about on a live or do a review of, then feel free to hit me up with a DM. All my social links are down below in the description, so you can get at me there, you know. But yeah, I would say, like, yeah, independent horror that I like is relatively mainstream at this point, right? Like the original Evil Dead is one of my favorite movies of all time. So, you know, that's not, when it came out, it was independent as all get out, but now everyone knows the Evil Dead. So, so yeah, maybe a little more closer to the mainstream for most things that I know about at this point, for sure. Go listen to Sid Sings. That's a rough one to get through, and it has two members of one of my all-time favorite bands, the New York Dolls, playing with him. Cringy. Yeah, the New York Dolls are fun as well. The very first, like, glam rock band, right? Unless you, I guess, if you want to consider Kiss, I don't consider Kiss glam. Very theatrical. I wouldn't consider them glam. Joe Strummer robbed us. Yeah, he didn't take care of his teeth and it ended up killing him. It's too bad. Let's see here. I like New Division myself. I was just listening to the song Perfect Kiss yesterday. Yeah, I've been listening to, even though it's against the Leanna Bevy Rage rules, I've been listening to Joy Division lately as well. Davey Deathray, Lou Reed was the reason why the Grateful Dead was called that. They went as the Warlocks, but Lou Reed had a band called that. They changed it to the Dead, and I'm a Deadhead first. Wow, I did not know that story. I wish I appreciated the Velvet Underground more. I have a rough time with Lou Reed's voice. Not the biggest fan of his voice, you know. Buzzcocks, they're really fun too. Yeah, and they've even got a little bit of a, you know, kind of experimental sound. Punk rock was just so much more experimental back then, late 70s, mid to late 70s into the early 80s. Yeah, I mean, there's some of the weirdest songs I've heard on, you know, Black Flag records. Even like, I don't know if you guys have heard like Mission of Burma. They have that punk rock, is it Punk Rock Academy? Is that the name of that one record? What's that one record called? Or is that the name of the song I'm thinking of? They're very interesting too. You know, some of the songs are super catchy. Some of them are just like a little more abstract. The Wipers from Portland, they have one of the best songs I've ever heard, but a lot of their stuff is like kind of weird for my tastes. But what's that Wipers song that I am just like absolutely in love with? The Wipers. What's the one that I can't stop thinking about? Portland, Oregon from 1977. Is This Real? I think that's the record that it's from. Yes, Is This Real? And what is the track listing here? Mystery. That song, Mystery by the Wipers. It's just 1 minute and 46 seconds. That song is so fucking catchy, you guys. Oh my God. And the Wipers are there, like I said, it's very strange, you know, abstract, at least to my taste, but some really fun stuff. MC5, Stooges, New York Dolls were labeled proto-punk. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, MC5, man. Even the Sonics, you know, were, people consider them like one of the early like garage kind of punk bands. I Can Get Down with the Jam too. There you go. I love that you guys are throwing all these out. Bad Brains. There we go. Velvet Underground had some great songs. Yeah, I just wish I liked Lou Reed's voice more. That's all. It's just all like a taste thing, you know. I've had people tell me that Elvis Costello can't sing, like straight up can't sing. He's one of my favorites. So, you know, what can you do? Hats off to Ozzy for an incredible career. Absolutely. A very, very, I mean, influential, doesn't even begin to scratch the surface, you know. Evil Dead concert in Phoenix, November 2nd, Orpheum Theater. Yeah, that one's a little too pricey for me, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't go to everything, unfortunately. You know, it's YouTube doesn't bring in all the money. But maybe some point in the future I'll be fortunate enough to, I don't know, get invites to all that stuff. I'm super. Anybody that missed the beginning of the stream, I got reached out to. Late last night, I got an email. The folks that have put together the In Search of Darkness documentary, all those documentaries, the folks behind that, they're doing another documentary about like trashy 70s, 80s, low budget slasher flicks. I think it's called Trash Slash, something like that. They reached out and they want me to be an affiliate and, you know, kind of share what they're doing and have a link and like a promo code where, you know, if any of you guys use that link and that code to purchase the film, they'll throw me a little something, something. So super humbling and fucking flattering to be asked to be a part of that. So I need to reach out to more production companies and more, you know, groups of people that are doing that kind of stuff. I need to reach out to, you know, companies that do screeners and all that kind of stuff. And just, sometimes I get so much like tunnel vision on what I'm doing here on the channel, like pre-recorded material, watching movies, doing live streams, guesting on other people's streams and doing shorts and all that kind of stuff. And then like editing is a whole different monster that, sometimes I lose sight of some of the other stuff I should be doing in the background of the channel that would probably, help us build the community better. So I've just, you know, life is all about finding balance. And I don't know if that search for balance ever comes, guys, or, you know, I don't think it ever ends. I think like balance is something that maybe you can maintain it for a little bit, but much like actually maintaining physical balance on beam, you've got to concentrate and you've got to always be kind of, you know, recalibrating and making sure that you're, you know, that you're keeping the balance and maintaining the balance. I don't know about Eddington. I don't know. I'm going to check out some reviews. We'll see. I don't know how much Pedro Pascal I can take, you know. Oh, it absolutely is. Every time I get to hang out with Vin, it's super cool. And, I mean, feels like a bud now. So, hanging out at the table's great. You know, kicking it behind the scenes with him is really fun. He has so many great ideas. You know, he's always like willing to kind of do his pitch on a bunch of things that he wants to do. It's really fun to hear and see his excitement. And he's got these, you know, all these ideas so well fleshed out. It's super cool. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm starstruck anytime I get to meet these people. But yeah, I mean, how can you not be, right? Of these, it's you see them on your screen. Like I watched the first Friday the 13th when I was like 8 years old, and I'm 43 now. So it's like somebody that I've been watching throughout my entire life. I finally got to meet her, you know. What's up, Eli Cortez, one of our great channel members, and Death Squad Mods. How you doing, Eli? I know I'm super behind on the chat. Damn. Why couldn't I think of that? This is the thing about live streaming. You forget everything. Plus, my stomach is telling me, dude, you only ate once today. What's the deal, bro? When are you going to feed me again? So maybe I'm a little more distracted. The album John Carpenter did last year, was that the Noir one that he just did? Oh, they remade themes. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out, Jay. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing Pat's channel there, Eli. Really appreciate you. David Bowie was glam. Sure. Yeah, okay, that counts for sure. He was certainly glam. I mean, New York Dolls, they like literally all dressed up like ladies, you know, every single one of them. So I guess I kind of separate the two. No city could handle our dense population of coolness. Oh my God, you guys. It looks okay. I'm not getting pumped about Mortal Kombat 2 until I see a full trailer, guys. I thought the last Mortal Kombat movie was not that good. It was okay. Really just barely okay for me. And while the Johnny Cage like parody teaser was pretty cute that came out today, like I liked it fine. I still think Carl Urban is way too old to play Johnny Cage. I like him as an actor. I grew up with the video games, and Johnny Cage should be mid-30s at the oldest, probably. See here, we got 3-day awesome. Sean says might be a little TMI, but last year I was going to do something that could not be undone. Really dark chapter in my life that I went through, and I wish I could go back and give myself a hug and tell myself all the cool people I'm going to meet if I just hold on tighter. Well, Sean, fortunately for you, man, you made it through, and you don't have to worry about those regrets. You were able to meet those people and to have that experience or those experiences, and I'm happy you're here, man. I'm happy that we got to meet and that you're kicking it with us here. Life is tough, dude. It is. You have to have people around you that can support you when you're feeling that kind of way, and you also have to allow yourself the grace to be able to reach out, you know, and let people know when you're really not okay. You know, so there's no shame in having those dark moments and thinking really bad things. I think a lot of us do, and not a lot of people talk. Maybe people don't voice it for whatever reason, the stigma or whatever you want to call it. I've struggled with stuff like that. I mean, I've never reached that point. But my whole life since I was a kid, I've said really, really bad things to myself in my head and probably out loud when I'm alone. And, you know, that's why I've leaned on music. I've leaned on movies. I've leaned on the communities that I've found with music and movies. Yeah, I lean on my family and my friends and everything. And, yeah, if you ever need anyone to talk to, man, you can reach out for sure. I'll, keep everything between us, and no judgment. You know, we should want everyone to be around as long as they can be around. And yeah, man, I'm happy you're here. Thank you for sharing. You know, one thing we do here on this channel, Sean, is that, you know, TMI, I thought you were going to say something that was going to be like, something that was going to be like gross or something like that. But as far like, we're really big here. At least I'm really big about it. I like to be as open as possible with everyone in the community, and we're very open and loving. And you know, mental health is really important to me. It's one of the reasons why I do this. You know, if there was nobody watching right now, I'd still want to be doing this. The exercise of doing YouTube is one of the motivators of starting the channel, was just that I wanted to do something creative, because I had this big break from playing music. And those creative juices, if you don't squeeze them out, they fester, they turn into depression, they turn into like self-loathing or feeling like you're not getting as much out of your life as you should. And, you know, just the exercise of doing YouTube makes me feel better. And then as a bonus to that, I've met so many great people. Everyone that hangs out in this community has been so incredibly supportive. And honestly, Sean, you know, some of the people here in the chat have become some of my best friends. She'll probably kill me for saying this, but Leanna Bevy Rage has become one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. Like, period. I met her through YouTube. Never even met her in person, but you just don't know like who's going to be there when you really need somebody to be there. So welcome to the community. I hope you hang out with us. I hope you're around for a really long time. And I hope that if you ever need somebody, that you have a handful of people that you can reach out to when you need someone. So, and you can add me to the list, bud. Don't be shy. Okay, what else do we got here? Let's see. Meeting Vince and him joyfully talking to me for hours about Never Hike Alone is something that'll stick with me forever. He is so friggin' sweet. Isn't he the nicest dude? He's really nice on his channel, guys, and all that stuff. And nice when he guests on other people's channels. He's been over here a few times. But man, in person, just the sweetest dude. Yep. Eli's the one. He can send you some stuff, Leanna. I try to always send Leanna stuff to listen to, and she's like, oh yeah, I know that. And I'm just like, oh. Just when I thought I could impress the cool girl. Damn it. Dynamite, yeah, you just do the @ and then their screen name, and usually YouTube just populates it for you. Let's see. I'm going to try to catch up with y'all because I know I've been blah, blah, blahing. Oh, yeah. If you're on your phone, I don't know if they let you tag on your phone. Yeah. Yeah, super cool, Eli. I just need to reach out. I need to see how far and wide my tendrils can reach and get involved in some more of that kind of stuff for sure. Let's see what else we got. Gosh, 2 hours, 21 minutes. You guys are amazing, though, kicking it. I have a tough time leaving. There's 20 people watching right now, and even though we're just kind of talking about whatever, guys, I have a really tough time leaving when I've got y'all hanging out, you know? Was Prince glam? I guess in his appearance, right? Yeah, you know, there's something about Prince that it's like it's so feminine that it comes back around and it's extremely masculine again. I love Prince as an artist, and you know, could really do any kind of genre of music that he wanted to. And I those are some of my favorite kinds of musicians. You know, I think Queen is kind of like that too, where it's like they do whatever genre they want, like ragtime, arena rock, blues. Yeah, whatever they wanted to do, they could nail it, you know. Even if you watch their live concerts from the early 80s, that 1981 Montreal concert, I think is the one that I'm thinking of. They open up with We Will Rock You, but it's a punk rock version of We Will Rock You. Like, it really fucking cooks. So that's the kind of stuff I really love. Yeah, and he's kind of a thing of his own, right? Thank you, Leanna. Yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and consider joining the Death Squad. Davey is cheap. Only 99 cents a month. Oh, put me in my place. I love it. Let's see here. For me, it was my mom. She had a Bowie, then Stevie Nicks concert on early VHS, early 80s. Watch them over and over. Had a crush on Stevie Nicks as a kid. Oh, who did I? I don't know if I had a crush. Madonna was like my very first like celebrity crush. What's the video? I've talked about it on the channel. The video where she's like in the Nickelodeon and there's like the little kid wearing the 3-piece suit that's watching her dance. Oh my God, that video, like, that was my awakening right there. My sexual awakening. Let's see what else we got. Davey does some cool members only mixtape streams where we get to share music and listen together. And yeah, and I'm working on a Discord, guys. I need somebody to jump into the Discord and make sure everything works with me. But if we get that going, I can share a private link with the members. We can do mixtape parties where we can actually broadcast the music on the Discord, so you don't have to go find it yourself. And we can do the same thing with watch parties. We can actually display the movie on screen. So I really want to get that going. That's just another thing I really want to get happening for the channel members, for sure. Well, let's see here. Michael Jackson was my favorite. So friggin' good. Yeah. Michael was an amazing musician and performer. Yeah, I do. It can be really, like, life can be, the shit it throws at you, man, is nuts. You know, you just gotta get your, like, you know, kind of like mantras that you can repeat to yourself, or some sort of like meditation that you can do that can pull you out of those moments, you know. And everyone kind of has to find their own sort of thing for that, for sure. Yeah, Off the Wall, good stuff. Hell yeah. Thriller, can't go wrong with Thriller. Oh, Jamie, you're so sweet. We love you too. I love everyone in here too. Maybe I don't say it enough, but I do. I love you guys. You guys are great. Dynamite says who you are in public versus who you are in private is crucial. I love it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes you just, yeah. It's funny, like I was telling Cecil at Mad Monster, I was like, you know, in person, I'm like, some people when I first started, they're like, oh, you kind of remind me of Dave McRae. And I'm like, well, I feel like when I'm on a stream, I don't really feel like I'm as like energetic as Dave. Dave's very energetic. But I think on streams, I sort of pull it back a little bit. Like in person, I'm way more like bouncing off the walls, you know, vibrant, chaotic, whatever you want to call it. And then maybe even some of my friends that have done like video chats with me, you guys have probably seen that side of me as well. But yeah, just a little bit of a difference. You know, like I want to give you guys the genuine article, of course, when I'm on here, but every time I'm on a stream or doing a video, like there is a certain part of it that is performance, and it's about finding that good mix of like personality and performance, and being able to put something out there that is technically a good product, but that's still honest. It's the same way I felt about playing music. Like, you know, oh, I can be as passionate as I want on stage, but if I'm not playing the songs well or singing the songs well, what the fuck is the point? What am I? I'm just doing it for myself. I'm just being selfish about it. You know, so if I just came on here and was like, ah, and like didn't care and didn't try to make it a good performance, it would feel a little more selfish. Not to say that people that are more energetic than I am are being that way. I think it's just all about finding that balance, that each person and each performer finding that balance for themselves. Best community on YouTube. That's right. This is a cool community. That's what's up. Yeah, I can't, after my previous romantic relationship, I can't do masks anymore, man. Once that mask came off with my ex, it was frightening. Great community, great mods, of course. In other words, Death Squad mods. Yeah, Jamie is our mama mod. I hope it's okay that I call you that, Jamie. I only call you that because you are in fact a mother. So it doesn't mean anything else other than that. It's a term of endearment. Let's see here. Oh, you guys are too sweet. Group hug. Group hug. Love to see it. I'm hugging those tigers. Group hug. There we go. Billy, you're coming in at the right time, man. We're hugging each other. Welcome on in, bud. Let's see here. Speaking of music legends, Jeff Lynne had to cancel the last concert of his final tour. Honestly, I can't imagine a world without Yellow. They're really good, man. Talk about very theatrical, like a really, you know, different kind of theatrical, like poppy kind of vibe, but a little, you know, even like, what's the group? The Moody Blues. There's a little bit of that vibe with EL. I would say that those two bands have kind of something similar going on there. Yes, Open Your Heart. Oh my God, Jamie, that changed my life. That, yeah, there we go. Eli Cortez has been a member for 11 months. That's right, folks. If you are a channel member, you get, for every month you've been a member, you get one of these really cool member milestone chats that you can share. It pops up as this cool green chat, lets us know how long you've been a member, and we can all kind of celebrate that and, you know, just commemorate that event. So there you go. Eli says, dang, been a member for almost a year. Let's go, Death Squad. Hell yeah, Eli. Love you, brother. Thank you so much. Ashton says, Sarah Michelle Gellar was my first crush, and I kind of still have one on her. Well, she is, yeah, I mean, she still looks absolutely fantastic. Holy cow. Saw the pictures of her on at the premiere of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Smoking. Scatchamagowza, as Greg the Bunny would say. Express Yourself, that was a different, yeah, it was Open Your Heart for sure. I never can remember it. I can just remember her lingerie, and I think she had her like a blonde pixie cut in the video, if I remember. Man, holy cow. Yeah, she's still smoking. Yeah, that's the one. If I know anything, I know Madonna. Well, and David Lynch. So there you go. And Evil Dead. You have a whole bunch that you know about, right? Well, she might be wearing a suit in Express Yourself, but in Open Your Heart, it's the little boy that goes into the the PG-13 Nickelodeon and watches her dance. I was like, I could be this boy. I could be this boy. This is like group therapy. I love it. Hell yeah, man. Gonna see 3 Days Grace this October. Fuck yeah. I'm pumped. I'm gonna go see the Beths in November. One of my new favorite bands. One of the best bands I've ever heard in my life. And I splurged, guys. I got balcony seats because you get your own. It's like a VIP-ish kind of area where you have a button. You can push this button and the server comes to take your order and take care of you, so you never have to leave to like go get a drink, even if you just need a water, like bzz, bzz. And I won't have to be in the midst of the sweaty crowd. I'll be able to get some good pictures from the balcony, so I'm super pumped. I found this channel from TSL. It's always a pleasure hanging out with the community here. Hell yeah, Chester. And I think we chatted and became buddies over on Dave McCrae's channel as well, just in the chat over there. I've seen some of those Harry Potter cast listings. That show ain't coming out till 2027. I'm just like, I can't even think about it right now. I've never read any of those books. I'm a lukewarm Harry Potter fan. I like a couple of the movies as standouts for sure. I need to rewatch The Crow. It's been a long time since I've rewatched that one. I've always known what Freddie Prinze Jr. did last summer. Yeah. Well, they've been together for a really long time. It's very, very cool. She is the one that got away. Isn't that the worst? It's just the worst. Sometimes you don't even know about the one that got away. You didn't even know they existed. And then you meet this person and you're like, fuck, that was the one that got away. And I didn't even know. Or little did I know. Thoughts on concept albums like King Diamond's Abigail, Kiss Music from the Elders. I've never listened to that Kiss record. I love Abigail by King Diamond. I really enjoy King Diamond. I love Merciful Fate as well. Abigail is a great concept record. I'm trying to think of some other concept records I really like. It's so tough to think of because I never got what's the one? Operation Mindcrime by, why can't I think of that band's name? That's like the big one that I always think of. But, even like NoFX did The Decline. It's an 18-minute song or 19-minute, 20-second song. It's kind of like a concept in and of itself. It's like the greatest punk rock song I've ever heard in my life. But I think concept records are cool as long as you do them the right way. Yeah. All kind of depends. And in a lot of ways, a lot of records are concept records. Like it captures a moment or a year or two in those people's lives and the way they arrange their songs on the record and the way that they go through the recording process and everything. It's interesting that way. Don't mind being called Mama Mod. Hell yeah. Not too familiar. Like I know who they are. I couldn't name any songs right now for sure. Jamie Mama Heart Mod. I'd like to see Dream Theater. Those guys are crazy. That would be a wild show. I can't wait to go see Megadeth again. I've seen them about 4 or 5 times now. Looking forward to the next time. Yeah, after the second season, I bailed on that show, but maybe I should catch up on it. More power to you if you love it. I have problems. I don't love everything, and that's my damn problem, I would imagine. I always appreciated the Italians Do It Better shirt she wore in Papa Don't Preach. I'm sure you did, Leanna. I'm sure you did. I freaking love ELO so much they did the soundtrack for Xanadu, one of my favorite guilty pleasures. All right. They did that song that what's the Smooth Talking Woman that Five Iron Frenzy covered? Oh my gosh. What an awesome song and what a great cover by Five Iron Frenzy. Yeah. Jennifer Love Hewitt still looks great too, and people bashing her for how she looked on the red carpet premiere for I Know What You Did Last Summer can go fuck off. I'm right there with you, Ashton. I don't like when people rip on people's appearance. They don't even know these people, and they're talking shit about their appearance. Like, fuck off. Like, come on. Like, did you expect Jennifer Love Hewitt to look like she was 17 for her entire life. Most people don't look the way they looked when they were 17. And there's so many different factors that go into there. I certainly am not as thin as I was when I was a teenager and when I was in my 20s. And yeah, I think she still looks really good. She is much more, she was always like curvy as far as like the chest size and hip size and all that goes, right? So it's like, what can you do? I don't know. I think I just try to like see the beauty in everyone. I know that's like the corniest thing you could say, but I find a lot of different shapes, sizes, and all that kind of stuff attractive for different reasons. And especially depending on the person, I think personality for me has always been a big part of it too. So yeah, I saw some stuff on Twitter where I was like, Jesus, you guys are being terrible. And I don't get it. Yeah, I really don't get it. Leanna's going to watch Stranger Things. Still hanging on, hoping for the best in the final season. Yeah. Are the kids like 35 now? I feel like the show started so long ago, I remember when it first started, everyone was so obsessed, and then it's like they just like slowed down production so hard on those. It's wild. Weird, wild stuff. It would be cool if we could talk about the OG Crow on a stream together. I need to watch, I've not seen it in a really long time, Prince, so I would have to re-educate myself for sure. Steve might die in Stranger Things 5 because he was meant to die in Chapter 1. Oh, shit. Queensryche, thank you, Pat. It's so funny. I can remember the friggin' name of the band, or the name of the album. I can't remember the name of the band. It's totally stupid. Abigail, I can see as a film, the stories there. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely that kind of thing. Yeah, I love it. Let's see here. What else do we got? What's my favorite Megadeth album, asks Jay. Mine is Countdown to Extinction. Well, that's the very first one I heard. My brother Matt got me Countdown to Extinction on cassette for Christmas, the year that it came out. So when was that? Was that like 92, 91 or 92, something like that? So that was my introduction. Skin of my teeth. Amazing. Had to like rewind and listen to it a second time. Didn't even want to move on from there. So that's the one that has the most like nostalgia for me, Jay. I do think Rust in Peace is like the greatest thrash record of all time. Countdown isn't really thrash. Countdown is a little bit more accessible, a little more in that pop kind of vibe, while still being metal. I love so many of their records. Like the latest record, The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead, I think that record rips. I really enjoy that one quite a bit. I really like their 13 album. I like the old stuff too. So Far, So Good, So What? Peace Sells, But Who's Buying, I think is really, really good as well. I'm a massive... Megadeth is one of my favorite bands of all time. I love Megadeth so much. There you go. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you said something, Ashton. I wouldn't have said anything unprompted, but I did see that stuff on social media today, and I was like, and a lot of people were the one account that I saw that was ripping on her. It was like, it showed a picture of her from like Can't Hardly Wait, and then the picture of her from the red carpet, and it was like she used to have, I don't know what they said. She used to look great, and now she's a fridge. And I was like, fuck, that's fucking brutal. And it was this woman that posted it. I'm like, oh my God. Sometimes, like, I know guys can be bad too, but sometimes women can be so mean to other women. Like, obviously not in every case, but man, it's just like, I don't get it all. But yes, thank you, Ashton, for prompting that. Yeah, I think she still looks pretty dang good. Yeah, who didn't? I don't think I broke 100 for quite a while. I mean, maybe I broke 100 by the time I was like 15 or something like that. First season's really good. I didn't like that second season, but I've heard everything after that's really good. So, oh, Peace Sells is so good. Yeah, so good. Stranger Things is catnip for us Gen Xers. Yeah, Jay Beach, if you did grow up in the 80s, or even if you like grew up with those movies, you're probably going to enjoy it quite a bit. Jay says, so far, so good, so what is really great for Megadeth 2, Davey. I was typing the albums names as you were speaking at Great Minds, huh? Yeah, I mean, I can't think of one of their albums that I don't really enjoy that much. I mean, even stuff like Cryptic Writings or Risk, like there's stuff in there that I do enjoy. I really like Euthanasia a lot as well. I remember they did like a record release on Halloween night, or they did a performance on Halloween night. Maybe it was just like a week or two before the album came out. It was on MTV and I watched it. Or it was like that weekend of Halloween. Train of Consequences, so good. Really fun stuff on that record as well. So yeah, I mean, Megadeth are always going to have my heart. And you know, they don't sell as many albums as Metallica, and they don't have as recognized of a brand worldwide, but I think that they make the better music and create, at least in my opinion and with my taste, more compelling art than Metallica. And I don't even think it's close. Like that, I think that gap is pretty vast. I did see a picture of it. We talked about it today earlier, Sean, when we showed the news and everything, but the news didn't have the picture of it. But I did see that. Yeah, the Savini design from the video game. Yeah, I saw some pictures of that. I don't know if Elias is going to be in the show. Do we have confirmation that Elias Voorhees is going to be in the show? I always thought they don't put him in there because they want the focus to be on Pamela and Jason. Love you too, Paula. Absolutely. Okay, guys, holy cow, 2 hours, 41 minutes. You guys are absolutely incredible. I can't believe I went this long. I promised myself I wouldn't go all friggin' night. We got 22 people in here. You guys are amazing. Thank you for kicking it with me on this, what has turned into a true late night with the Davey episode. And this one is episode 53. How about that, guys? That's really friggin' cool. You guys are awesome. Keep an eye out on the channel for my interview with Jacob Hare, who is the supervising director on Rick and Morty. Keep an eye out for that dropping possibly Friday, maybe later on in the weekend. The editing is giving me a heck of a time, but I'm determined to finish editing that one. And yeah, guys, you'll catch me on Hit the Bricks, 9 p.m. Eastern Sunday. So keep an eye out for that. Of course, I'll be sharing stuff. So make sure you have the notification bell clicked. Make sure you have all notifications set so you can see the community posts that I make, because that's where I share some of the links. And then also that way, when you have the bell hit, it'll let you know when I'm going live, so you don't miss out on any of the live streams or any of the fun stuff we have coming up here on the channel. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate all the Patreon members, all of the YouTube channel members, every single one of you guys that's kicking it here in the live. You guys are awesome. Big shout out to our Death Squad mods. I think tonight we had Leanna Bevy Rage, we got Jamie Hart, Mama Mod, Eli Cortez. Did I see Cody Snyder jump in for a second? I think I might have. And Cody, I'm so sorry if you jumped in and I missed you or missed saying hello. My bad, bud. I love you, Cody Snyder. You're just the coolest dude. You guys are awesome. Jay, I'm going to get that muscle tee going for you. So I'll shoot you a link when I get that, and I'll share it with everyone so you guys can see that. But yeah, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this time around. You all are so amazing. Thank you so much as we blast into the 3rd year of the Davey Death Ray channel. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that I would have so many great friends and this awesome community. Not only a community that I really enjoy interacting with, but you guys are so great to one another. It's so encouraging. It's such a nice break from the ugliness that I'm sure we all see on social media. Isn't it so cool that we get a break from that when we hang out with one another? I truly appreciate it, and I truly appreciate every single one of you. And yeah, guys. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm going to watch I Know What You Did Last Summer tomorrow, and I'm going to shoot a review for that. So keep an eye out for that. You guys are awesome. I will see you next time around. But until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Death Ray. Take care.